All right, how's it going, everybody? So in today's video, I have Byrus the Virus over here. We're going to be doing some Resident Evil discussions, talking about. We're also going to do some Resident Evil news later on as well, but kind of just we're going to be talking about Resident Evil 4, the next remake, stuff like that. Just anything that really pertains to Resident Evil. On top of that, yeah, we're also, you know what? I should also record this because this is also going to be a video. So let's do that. Something I also forgot to do. But yeah, how's it going, Virus? How's it going, man?
Good. Oh, Lee, I'm happy to be here. What's going on, everybody?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know me, I make silly little videos.
Yeah.
I'm here to talk about one of my favorite franchises, Resident Evil, man. So let's do it. Let's get into what we got today. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you for having me.
And you know what? The other thing that I also forgot to mention is that if you guys have not checked out Byrus the Virus's content, you guys definitely have to. Because you know what? I said this to Byrus. He's like the funniest guy in the space. So you guys got to go check him out. You know what? I forgot to leave a link to your channel. We'll do that in the live stream. We'll definitely do that right after. But
oh my God, I can't believe that. Already thrown me under the bus, guys.
Yeah, we already got people in chat too. Yeah, we're also going to be reading chat. What's up, brothers? Leon S. Kennedy says. Steven Easter says, what's up? Yeah. The Mel World says the animated movie should be turned into games. You know what? That's a good topic right there. Maybe we'll start with that. Have you seen all the movies? Byrus?
I've seen all the animated ones, and they're all hot garbage.
I see.
Resident Evil 6 is basically an animated movie. Come on now. What else do you want?
That's you know what? That's true. You know, for me, I don't think that they're hard garbage, but I've always said that they're not great, but they're not like
delicious garbage.
They're not like the worst thing in my opinion. You know, for me, I think they're all mid, to be honest. Like even the new one that just came out, I think they're all like I was even thinking of doing like a tier list, but I'm like that's gonna be so hard because I all think that they're like at the same level.
No, it's funny you mentioned that because I remember when the first one came out and I thought it was so good. And the second one came out, I thought it was even better. And then I rewatched it. I'm like, there's something wrong with this year. And then the more they went on, and the most recent one, I was like, I fell asleep during it. I did not care. And I went to go back. I was like, I don't care. I don't. The only cool thing I will say was having Jill and Leon in the same presence. That was cool.
Yeah, because we've never seen those characters kind of relate, like or talk, right? So
that was
cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And just seeing the whole cast again, like we saw more of Rebecca, even though she didn't really play a big part of the role in Death Island. Funny enough, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, like I said, I fell asleep during halfway through it. So
oh, you never went back to watch it?
I think where I ended off was Jill fighting zombies in her long ass cardigan, and then I.
Oh, okay, so that's like right when the action is just gonna start.
Yeah, pretty much.
I see. No, you gotta watch it. Yeah.
I know I have to.
You gotta finish it.
Just lazy.
No, to be fair, I mean I will say that a lot of them. Like, especially, like, just thinking, like, the first one, Resident Evil Degeneration, it started off really slow. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it does have the whole airport thing, but then after, there's, like, a huge break in between that. That's the slow part that I'm talking about. Like, we have, like, there's not much that's happening. I think for the first one, doesn't Leon helicopter in, and then that's when, like, the action really starts, but Claire doesn't do anything. She gets out of, like, the room that she's held up in with, like, an umbrella. An actual umbrella logoed umbrella and then tries to hit people, and then that's when Leon shoots a couple of people, but then there's like a huge break in between where they kind of go to like the Will Pharma facility, and it's almost like the energy is kind of building up and then it just dips,
right,
and then it kind of just raises until like the ending, obviously, where there's like the big boss fight and stuff. But yeah, and even like I'm thinking Resident Evil Damnation too, right? Like a lot of them have a little, but you know what? The new one, I think the action started. I think that's when you fell asleep. It started when they got to Alcatraz, but that was my point. Is that it takes a while for like the action to actually start. I noticed. Well,
yeah,
you could argue that Resident Evil Death Island did have the whole motorcycle chase at the beginning with Leon, but that's just Leon being Leon, right? That's with like the dodge inputs.
Just Resident Evil's John Wick, man. That's all he is, and that's all he needs to be, and it works so well.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely true too. With like,
I'll take it.
With the new Resident Evil 4, where how they added the car system and stuff, and Yeah, they obviously took a lot of inspiration. I think there's also that scene where he does the handgun thing that John Wick does. Like he grabs the gun, pulls back the chamber, checks
With
if
one
it's there,
hand.
and then goes
Yeah.
back. Yeah, like a lot of John Wick influences. Like, but I mean that's awesome. I love John Wick. I love that. So, but yeah, but I was going back to what I was saying with Resident Evil. What did you think? What was your favorite? It's a hard question, but what was your favorite CGI movie?
Oh my god, I wish I could tell you because they're all just kind of forgettable for me.
Yeah.
They all just seem the same. I remember liking the first one. I think that was Damnation.
Yeah. No, the
That
first
one
one
I
was
remember.
Degeneration.
Degeneration.
Yes,
Sorry, that one. One
yeah.
I remember vaguely enjoying.
Yeah.
It
had
that
the
was
angry
years ago by
Leon.
this point.
It had the angry emo Leon. Yeah.
Dude, I liked. I thought he was such a cool edgelord when I was younger, dude.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I liked. If I were to look back, I'd probably have different opinions on it.
Well, you know what? Like
But
back in those days, it was like when Resident Evil Degeneration. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but didn't that come out in 2007 or 2008? So that was like the emo era, right? And Resident Evil 4 came out in 2005. So even like his hair and stuff, which they kind of toned back in Resident Evil 4 remake, but yeah,
it's not as
popular now.
crazy. Well, it's not even really a crazy haircut. Just everyone was doing it back then.
Yeah.
Jeez, like even I kind of had it. At
Oh,
a
you
point, and
you
I
had
regret
it?
that. Yeah,
I was never
I'd show
full
you a
emo.
picture, but I've destroyed that archive.
You know, it's better left. Yeah, it's better that it's left.
Better left to the unknown than
yeah.
anyone to see it with their supple eyes. Don't worry, I wouldn't want to burn your retinas anyway.
You don't want to put that at the internet. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
People are actually asking, yeah, what if they add Maria in future RE spin-offs or the mainline games? Are you referring to Maria Gomez? But the problem is that she died in Resident Evil Death Island. So, I mean, they could. Resident Evil Death Island takes place in 2015. While Vendetta, no, 2015, and Vendetta was a year before, I think 2014. So it would have to be like she would have to show up before those events, but it's only like a year's time frame. So I don't think that would work, Leon. I don't think you could fit her in other storylines unless it pertained to like the story of Resident Evil Vendetta and Death Island. But that would be a little hard. Ice Stink Amy says, do you think we're gonna get any Resident Evil related? Anything Resident Evil related? Yeah. Or you mean like as in regards to news? What do you think?
For the rest of time, I mean, I'm sure we will.
Yeah, definitely.
Recently, maybe I would like to see some sort of announcement, either a trailer or a teaser sometime this year. That would be nice.
Yeah, and
I have a feeling if it's not going to be RE9, then it'll be one of the remakes that they're inevitably going to do, whether that be Code Veronica or 5.
Yeah, and that's a good segue. Which one do you want to see? Because I know you played. You told me that you never played the co-op Resident Evil, so you never played Resident Evil 5, but you did play Resident Evil Code Veronica.
I did, yeah.
Which one would you want to see first? Like which story? I guess it's a good question to ask you, right? Like which story intrigues you more? You know, from what you've seen from those games.
Well, in my humble opinion, I even though I haven't played 5, so I know people are going to come at me because I make that kind of content, but I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Or at least thoroughly.
Yeah.
But I did play Resident Evil Code Veronica sometime last year.
Yeah.
And my God, if you try playing that now, you will have the absolute worst time of your life.
I saw you talking about the controls, and I was going to ask you.
It is so frustrating.
Because that's a funny video. If you guys haven't checked that out, I'll leave it linked down below because it's really it's hilarious. I mean, with the dogs, I got to the dog part. I didn't finish it, but it was funny. But I was going to ask you, what control scheme did you end up using? Because for me, when I replayed it again, I switched to C, so the third control scheme, and that really helped. So
I think I just kept it on
default.
The default. I tried switching them. I didn't like any of them. I've been told after. It's funny because after I was about halfway through my playthrough, I made a post on the Reddit.
Yeah.
Asking, hey, how's the best way to play this game? Everyone said anything but PlayStation. I was like, well, that was my first mistake. I'm 8 hours in. Sorry, 6 hours in. I can't really change now.
But to be fair, like I had some viewers tell me that they've never played Resident Evil Code Veronica because it's not available on Steam. It's not available just like that, like to legally get it. And obviously there's always pirating and stuff, you know, you could get the game. But even, you know, like the community, it seems like they haven't made that many mods for Resident Evil Code Veronica. Like there's been a bunch of mods for Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. PS1 where they've they've HD the scale, like they scaled up everything. It looks HD-ified or whatever. But for Resident Evil Code Veronica, there's no real mod that does that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but what I've seen, I mean, it's pretty barren for Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Yeah, last time when I think I went to go look it up, I don't think it was on. I think the way people mentioned it was to definitely not legally download it and mouse and key it, and they said the experience is like night and day compared to playing it on controller. Yeah, it is a good game, I will say. Going back to that, sorry. It is fun. The story's good. I love how goofy everything is. I wish they, mind you, I guess they kind of did stick with the goofiness when it came to 4. Yeah, but it's integral for the story with Wesker, how he comes back.
Who is your least favorite character?
I'm curious. In it? Oh my god, probably Steve. I knew that was
coming because Steve is so annoying.
Oh my god,
he's like, so annoying. Claire, sorry.
He causes so much trouble, and he's just an absolute nuisance. Like, the story would progress so much faster if you didn't have this bumbling idiot following you the whole game. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's I think he's technically 17, but he acts like an annoying 7-year-old, or it really didn't make any sense. But you know what? I was also going to ask you, was last year when you played it, was that your first playthrough of Code Veronica?
That was, yes.
I see. Because have you ever played the Wii rail shooters Resident Evil games that came out on PS3? Wii, I think it came out on Wii first, and then they released it for PS3 and I think Wii U.
I don't think I did. I know I had Resident Evil 0 for Wii. Yeah. And I never ended up finishing it. I think that was the only Resident Evil game I had.
I see. Yeah, Resident Evil.
I didn't play any of the shooters or the.
But the reason I'm mentioning this is because in the second rail shooter one, Dark Side Chronicles, they kind of retold the story really quickly. They kind of skipped over a bunch of stuff that actually happened in Code Veronica. They called it a game of oblivion or whatever. That was their code name for that campaign. But one of the things that I really liked about that one, Dark Side Chronicles, is specifically is that Steve, they completely changed his character. Completely. Good. They made it way better. If anything, there's actually a scene where Claire's going on the computer sending a message to Leon or whatever, and Steve's literally checking that cake. He's checking that cake. So Steve was a lot cooler. He was way better in Dark Side Chronicles. So you know what? Every time I think of Steve, I don't think of Steve from Code Veronica. I think of the Dark Side Chronicles Steve because he's just way better.
Wow, then be grateful you never had to experience that, because Jesus, that man is built completely in the worst ways possible.
But that's interesting too that you said, because it was your first time playing. You said that obviously it's a nightmare to play, right? Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't record, bruh. It's okay. I didn't record. I got distracted. It's okay.
Just pull the VOD later. You got the VOD.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm recording now. I'll get it out.
There you go. Hey, YouTube, welcome in. This is the intro.
Anyways, I was gonna say, it was your first time playing Code Veronica last year, and so many people, and you said it was really hard to get into with the control scheme and all of that. Yeah. But that it's interesting that you said that you really liked it. You liked the story. What did you think of the locations and stuff that happened?
I enjoyed them. In my opinion, I think they were just a little too big.
Yeah.
That's compared to some of the other games, especially the ones previously got. Even compared to 4, the pacing, if you play 4's areas compared to Code Veronica, it just feels like you're running through a bunch of not empty rooms, because they all have their own purpose. But my God, they just feel so far in between from where you need to go. Like you're legit going from one end to the map all the way back here to find out you didn't need anything here, so you run all the way back to then find out, oh wait, I didn't need to go in that area, but then you go up and around. And it's a mess. The pacing of it is egregious.
Since it's been a while because that was Resident Evil Code Veronica. I think it was my first it was my first Resident Evil game that I played fully as a kid. Well, I didn't beat it actually. I didn't beat it until I was a teenager or whatever. But that was the game that I really played. That's the first official Resident Evil. Because I don't know if I told you this, but I started with Dino Crisis. That's what got me into the series. I played 0 and Resident Evil 1 at my cousin's house, but I didn't officially own a Resident Evil. I didn't own a GameCube, so that kind of kept me away from those remakes until they released for 2015. But Resident Evil Code Veronica was my first time. But kind of just thinking at it as somebody that just started playing, like I do understand the bigger areas, like going to the military training facility, going to the palace, and then going to the mansion, then going all the way back. You know what I mean? To give the hemostatic medicine to what was his name? Ricardo? No, yeah, was it?
Yeah, Ricardo.
Ricardo. Okay, yeah. And dang, is it Ricardo? I'm second guessing myself.
I think I'm pretty sure. No, Rodrigo. Rodrigo.
Yeah,
that's
Rodrigo.
what it is.
Yeah,
Rodrigo.
okay. Rodrigo, thank you. That's like that doesn't sound Rodrigo.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so yeah, you go all the way there, give back. So there's a lot of areas, and also if you get lost, it is an old like style of.
It's unforgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, like
definitely.
you have to backtrack a lot, especially if it's your first time playing. And I know that a lot of my viewers too haven't played Code Veronica because it's a game that's really it's old school, and it's not available. It's not available, like we were talking. It's not legally available in modern systems. I don't even think, does Xbox have it? Do you guys know if Xbox has it? I know PlayStation has it, but as people on Reddit said, it was bad, right?
Probably. I would assume so. It's because they HD'd it when it came to the 360, and then every 360 game should be available on any current day Xbox.
Yeah.
That's what it was like for PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's the same for them. I don't have an Xbox, so I couldn't tell you.
Dang, I missed a lot of chats. We'll just read through them real fast. Blue Flare says,
do it.
Did you see the new actor for Wesker confirm that he's working on a new game? So either RE5 or RE5 remake or Code Veronica remake. So this is interesting. This is actually I want to talk about this, but we'll go into it. So I'll pull it up right now. But we'll just read the next comments and then we'll go back to that. Remind me if I forget. But anyways, you guys noticed her body disappeared. Oh, Maria Gomez. No, I didn't notice that. Did it disappear? You're talking about Maria Gomez from Resident Evil Death. Oh, that's interesting. She disappeared again? Bro, I didn't notice that. I have to double check that. Yeah, thank you for letting me know, Leon.
Hey, if they don't die on screen, it doesn't count.
Exactly. Like with what happened with Wesker, right? A lot of people think he's dead, but yeah, it was fishy, his death. Revan says, hello there, stranger. Played the OG RE5, I Stink Gaming says, and got to the giant cockroach section and uninstalled the game. The giant cockroach section. Wait, oh, the crab? The U8? Is that the one with like in the platforms? I think that's what you mean, right? Hey cuties, Fletcher Cut. What's up, Fletcher? Steve or Ashley, choose. Who's more annoying? You know what? I actually have a video coming out about that. You just reminded me. So you'll get my answer. You'll get my answer there. But what would you say, Byrus? What would you say for that? Who's more annoying, Steve or Ashley?
At least Ashley's redeemable because she wants to do overtime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Steve ain't gonna give me nothing. Steve's just gonna
turn into a green toad.
Turn to a green toad, looking like Bowser over here, or Goomba from the old Mario movie, and just die and falls in love with the main character within an hour they're together. It's like, get out of here, man. I don't want to hear this.
Oh, but what was interesting too? We were just talking about dead bodies that were taken. Guess who else was taken? It was Steve and Darkside Chronicles.
He was.
Was the OG as well? You played it.
I didn't. But I know that he was taken out.
So it was Darkside Chronicles, I think, where they showcased, because I wasn't sure if it's been a while since I played. I think it's been like a year and a half since I played Code Veronica, but I think it's Darkside where they show him disappearing. Like Wesker takes his body to get the Code Veronica virus. But hope they give him a glow up if they ever remake Code. Definitely, yeah. Depends if we're like his character is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like how they reworked Ashley's character. If they were to remake Steve into something actually like comparable, I would be more than okay with that.
Dude,
but the way he is right now needs to go.
Remake Ashley is so much like nicer. She's so much like, she's so down to earth. It's somebody that you would actually want to hang out with.
Yeah.
But the OG Ashley was just like an annoying brat princess who was just like, I always remember that scene, and I talk about this in the video, but I always remember that scene where she's like, leave me alone. And then she's like, he's like, oh, Ashley. And she goes, and then the spikes come up, and then she gets caught in that. And I think you covered this. I saw a short.
That's my most watched short. Is
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where like the random, I think you said that. It's like, oh, a random trap that you have to specifically be in that location. It's so dumb.
And I said even Stevie Wonder would have seen that coming. Yeah. Because he would have. She was basically Sandy Cheeks that indulged in helium.
Yeah,
like that's who.
That's right. She did play
Ashley
Sandy
was,
Cheeks.
But,
yeah.
I'd still take her over Steve any day, though. I don't care what nobody says.
Oh, really? Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I think. Yeah, because like I said, I always think of Steve as the Code Veronica. But you know what? You guys are gonna have to see my take on the video. I'll
Watch
say
the video when it comes out to
Yeah.
find out the full take. Come on now.
Yeah. But let's see. Depends if we're talking about remake Ashley or OG Ashley. Bluefire, that's a good point. But yeah, we're clearly talking about the OG because
remake Ashley surpasses in every way. So.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He even says that. Yeah, Ashley is way better. No contest. Definitely.
Yeah.
OG Ashley. I'll give remake Ashley the overtime she's asking for. Shush. I hate crossplay. Says my first Resident Evil game was Resident Evil on PS1. Dang, that's awesome, dude. I'm that old. Yeah, I was like 1 when the game. No, yeah, I think I was what 1, 96. Yeah, it was gonna turn
96.
2.
Yeah.
I was 2. Yeah, so no, I was not playing that. I didn't play it until I was like 5. So yeah. Yes, no body, no kill. I think he's referring to the Reaper, the bioweapon that can one hit kill you. I don't know what you're referring to. No, I think they're called Reapers or something. I see. Yeah, the Reapers. That's what you guys are talking. Yeah, the ones that are like they have a bunch of smoke, and if you get close to them, they like auto kill you, like one shot. Yeah. You have to shoot like their little diamond chest. I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah, first I don't know why I pictured the UA, but okay, I get you. But anyways, going back to what Bluefur mentioned with Wesker. I'm going to bring up the tweet right now. Craig Bernatowski. I will admit he said something very sus, but we don't know because he did actually correct. He's like, no, guys, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the new Resident Evil game. Forget anything that I said. But I'll bring it up right now. Bernatowski.
He's lying. They all lie. Come on.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. So it was actually his last tweet. His last tweet was referring to that, but no. I think somebody commented here. No, did he delete it? No. Did he delete it? I'm checking his replies because I'm pretty sure it was a reply. I follow him, so I saw it like pop up. But did he delete it? He might have actually. I'll check. I don't see it in his replies. Oh, I got out. Anyways, I just to bring it up, right? Because I don't have it exactly right now. But what it was that it was like something PlayStation or some other Twitter account was like, hey, you guys, what games are you guys looking forward to next year? And and he was like, the game that I'm working on, or something along those lines, right, guys? That's what he said.
Well, you can't say something like that and not expect speculation.
Yeah,
from
so everybody was like, bro, are we getting a Resident Evil Code Veronica, Resident Evil 5 remake? Because I mean, it's Wesker, but apparently this is what he said. It's in response to that. He said, well, apparently I have to be much more careful with what I say. Yeah, this comment is closest. I have done some work on a non-RE title that is releasing this year, because he's replying to somebody that said, I see a lot of people who assume that this game is Resident Evil 5 remake. You know that Wesker appears in Resident Evil 1, Code Veronica 2, right? And this actor probably works on more games than Resident Evil. So that's something that I saw too. I was like, I mean, it could be Resident Evil. It could. Like, he was very vague, obviously. He says, I'm excited for the game that I'm working on. And you know what? Craig is a huge Resident Evil fan. Like, I've seen him post, he got a platinum on Resident Evil 4 remake. Like, that's rare to see for a voice actor. Wouldn't you agree, Byrus? Like, it's not that many voice actors.
I mean, I haven't. I'm not even a voice actor.
Oh, so you have it?
I do, yeah. I know like that game for like a month.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's crazy. So it's kind of sus. You would assume that he would be, hyped for the next Resident Evil game. But the other thing too is that I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I couldn't bring up the tweet. I think he might have deleted it, unless somebody took a screenshot. But I'm pretty sure he said it was referring to next year. So the game that he was referring to, like the question was, what game are you excited for next year? He said, oh, the one I'm in. But the key phrase there is next year. I don't think Code Veronica remake, if they're working on it, is releasing next year. I kind of touched this in my video. We actually saw, whatchamacallit, we saw in the 2020 Capcom data leak. We saw that it was we saw all the games that they were working on at that time, and there was no mention of Code Veronica or Resident Evil 5 remake. So by that logic, we know that it's obviously after, right? So maybe they worked on it in 2021, 2022, 2023. But regardless of when they started it, I don't think that the game's going to release at that time. Doesn't it take them like 4 years or
Something
longer?
like that, yeah.
6 years to work. Like it takes a long time to get a game out. So we obviously know that 2020 they weren't working on it. So yeah, it doesn't make sense that it's so that's what I mean. Like it kind of debunks that idea that there's going to be a new Resident Evil game that's releasing next year that's potentially Resident Evil 1, Code Veronica, or Resident Evil 5, right? So yeah, with all I doubt that the game started working on 2022 and then it's releasing in 3 years after development. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that being plausible either.
Yeah, especially since Resident Evil 4 remake just released last year, so they were putting all their resources in that. So
yeah, exactly.
It would have to be now that they're working on Resident Evil 9 or Resident Evil, the other games that they were working on in 2020, as mentioned in the recent video that I posted, right? So I doubt. I think Greg is telling the truth. I think he was referring to another game that he's voicing, but are we going to see Craig again? Definitely, right? Like
100%.
Yeah, I definitely think so, but yeah. Let's catch up. Yeah, I'm excited to see the next RE remake, definitely. Fans asking for Dino Crisis remake. Capcom puts the T-Rex boss in RE6. Yeah, so I don't know if you know this, Byrus, because as mentioned, Byrus hasn't played the co-op games, and you know what? We got to do that, Byrus. We got to play the co-op games. I'll play. I'm always down for the co-op games, even though a lot of people don't like the co-op games. They're amazing.
Makes them more fun, man.
Yeah, for co-op,
the game's gonna be stupid. Let's play
yeah. Because you know what?
Let's make it stupid.
Playing by yourself, with Resident Evil 5 or Resident Evil 6 is just not the same. It's the AI is bad. Like you can't play it by yourself. Like it's not gonna be great. But what Leon is referring to is that in Resident Evil 6, the final boss, he turns into like he has like 6 final forms. It's
this
like
I have seen, yeah.
It's like a Dragon Ball freaking villain. Like he's got so many forms. He turns into a lion, turns into a fly. I think he turns into a T-Rex. So that's the closest Capcom has been to us, hinting at a Dino Crisis, Easter egg. But yeah. Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, but yeah, and Dino Crisis, man, like as mentioned before, that's the game that got me into Resident Evil. Like without that, it would have taken me a lot longer to get into Resident Evil. But dude, Dino Crisis, going back and doing a remake for that, I've definitely and as mentioned, I think I told you before the stream, Capcom is doing a poll right now at this moment in time. I haven't looked into it since, one of my viewers, he actually sent me that. He's like, bro, like you got to check this out. And I was like, bro, I'll check it after, because I woke up like at 3 a.m. when he sent it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to go back to bed, but I'll check it after. But yeah, didn't have time, but we'll definitely.
It's funny
because I have to vote for that.
I think before, I could be wrong on this. My timeline's kind of skewed, but I think before the RE4 remake came out, they were asking the same thing. They sent a questionnaire about what you'd like to see.
Yes. Yeah.
And one of them had Code Veronica.
Yeah.
Dino Crisis. I had a few other ones as well. Yeah. So
it's interesting that they're doing it again. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, because I did forget about that. Yeah, that was like when was that? A year? Maybe a year. You said before RE4, right?
I think it was before the RE4 remake came out. Yeah,
I do remember. It was
the beginning of 23 or end of 22. My timeline's skewed. So
I definitely. Yeah, no, I remember that. I did vote for Dino Crisis, but you know what? I think people mentioned that also Dead Rising is there. What do you think about that? A remake of Dead Rising.
Dude, considering how they absolutely killed the franchise.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, that's Capcom of them to do, but. God, I would love a remake. Dead Rising 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I put so many hours into that as a kid.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Dead Rising 2, what are you doing? The game is so fun. It's even better co-op. Like, it's insane.
Dude, Rebecca Chang. Do you remember Rebecca Chang?
Of course. How could I forget?
Sheesh, man.
It's
damn.
Part of my puberty, man.
Man, I love Rebecca Chang, man. She's like the Ada Wong of Dead Rising. And you know what? The sad thing is, spoiler alert. I'm not going to spoil it, but they also made Dead Rising off the record, which I never played, but apparently they changed the story, right?
So they changed it where instead of Chuck's POV, it's from Frank's.
The first guy. Yeah.
So if Frank West were to cover the Willamette Mall incident, it would be through him. And it was actually pretty good. It took what was already there from the second game and just added onto it. They added a whole new section. The story was flipped.
Yeah.
New bosses.
It's like an alternate
new weapons.
universe, like a what if scenario, right?
Yeah, it was really good. And then 3 came out, and it just kind of built off of that. And then we all know how 4 ended.
Yeah, I never played 3 because it was just exclusive to like PC and Xbox, I think. So I'm a PlayStation guy, so that didn't happen. But did you also hear that there was leaked information that Dead Rising was gonna do there was another game that got canceled, and it was gonna be in like a Mexican island, like a coastal.
No, I didn't.
I think an island in Mexico, and it was gonna be like Chuck. It was gonna have the same guy from the second one returning. And obviously, it was going to be before the events of Dead Rising 3. So I think it was like a direct sequel to Dead Rising 2.
Oh,
Dead Rising 3 is in the future, right?
Are you talking about Case, was it called Case West or Case Zero? There was a DLC that came out before the game. It was like a short game. It was maybe only a few hours, 6 hours at the max. Is that what you're talking about?
No. Because that one was like a prologue to how Chuck worked in Las Vegas before, right? That because there was an outbreak in Las Vegas, and then they made a new Las Vegas called the Platinum Strip or something. I don't know what it was called, but no. That was an exclusive DLC for Dead Rising 2. But no. This was an actual game that was going to be set in Mexico with Chuck.
Okay,
I think it was called Islas de los Muertos. I think, you know what? I actually want to search that up because when I saw it, everybody was like, "Bro, they were working on this. This would have like brought back the series." So obviously, if they're thinking of remaking Dead Rising, if we ever got that Mexican game, I'll put that. See if something pops up. Canceled Dead Rising 5 game video. Yeah, Dia de los Muertos. So that's the Day of the Dead. So it was obviously going to take place in. There was actually leaked gameplay. So if you search up Dead Rising,
in spring 2018 it was announced.
Yeah.
Development. Wow.
So that was cool, and I'm pretty sure it had Chuck. Chuck was the main guy for that, but that would have been cool. That would have been cool. So it seems like Capcom was thinking of bringing back the series after I don't know. Do you know when Dead Rising 4 came out?
20. Oh God, what was it? 2016?
Okay, so this was after. Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, but that you know what? That's what they just said. I just read that Dead Rising 5. So it would have had to have been after Dead Rising 4, right? Have you played Dead Rising 4? I never did.
Hell no.
It looked so bad.
Yeah, I didn't even bother.
It didn't look great.
As soon as I saw they removed psychopaths right from the beginning, I was like, this is not going to be a good game.
Yeah. And it kind of reminds me of like the Umbrella Corp. That's a multiplayer Resident Evil game that I never played. Have you played Umbrella Corps or?
I haven't. No, I know all about it, but
what's your take on the Resident Evil multiplayer games like Resident Evil Resistance?
Stop doing them. I don't know why they think people want to play these games. They had made 2 attempts in 3 years, and both of them flopped completely. Dude, when the RE3 remake came out, and they had Resistance come out bundled with it because they knew no one was gonna buy it, as was. This was during COVID when everyone was home. It took me 30 minutes to get into a match to get instantly disconnected, and I said never again.
Yeah, I played one match. I did. There was like a tutorial too. It was like really long to just get into the game, and I played the tutorial, and then I played like one match, and I was like, this is really boring. Nobody knows what they're doing. And also, why are we going from room to room? Like the whole concept, like it was kind of boring. Like they could have done anything else. You know what I mean? Like
it was just a poor man's version of Dead by Daylight is what it was. That's the best way to describe it. It just wasn't good. And they got to stop doing it.
Like, and then with Resident Evil Reverse was like a team deathmatch of Resident Evil, which was just weird. Like what was your thoughts on that?
I didn't even bother. As soon as I heard about it, I'm like, I could care less. That's
you didn't even try it?
Doesn't ruin. No, I was like, as long as they, because I knew I wasn't gonna like it, so I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time. I was like, let's just hope this doesn't mess with our RE4 remake.
Yeah. And
they don't, they stay on their game, and then thankfully they did. So hopefully they learned their damn lesson by now.
Well, you know what? A lot of people have been saying that it would have been better for them to make Resident Evil Outbreak remake. That was a multiplayer game that everybody loved. I actually played it as a kid on PS2, but I wasn't allowed to go online on PS2. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how you would do PS2 online. I tried it once.
It was a whole thing.
There was like a bunch of steps. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like This is back in 2000, right? 2000. I was 2003 for me when I got a PS2.
Right.
But yeah, so like I didn't even look at it, but I was just lost, to be honest. I was just going around. I'm like, what am I doing? What is this? It's clearly supposed to be a game that you play with friends,
Yeah.
and you go around. And I like how everybody has their own camera, so they can go like, or their own like you don't. It's not like Resident Evil 5 or Resident Evil 6 where you're kind of trapped in one room. One big like sandbox room, and then to progress you have to go to the door and be like, call your partner like, hey, get over here, Sheva, get over here,
Sheva, come on,
yeah,
hurry.
come on. That's it. And you have to do that, and then after you would progress to the next room. With Outbreak, it seems like you would just like the gameplay that I've seen, because like I said, I never beat it or anything. It just, everybody could just go and just leave.
Really, yeah.
Just go and do their own stuff.
Which is a cool concept. I wish more games would do that.
Yeah,
but...
it was definitely ahead of its time. And you know what? That would be amazing if we were to get that nowadays.
I agree. That would definitely see, that would be a multiplayer game I'd be more than okay with. But as long as it's just like some like cooperation, like that's all, like that's fine. The co-op, I don't mind. Anything else, it's like
yeah. Especially
don't reinvent don't fix what's not broken.
But just like you said, don't reinvent the wheel, because that's what they've been doing with Resistance. Like, what?
You don't need to.
And apparently, didn't I hear that the Resistance storyline is actually canon? I think I heard that before the game came out. I don't know if that's true, and I don't even know how that would be canon. Like, I don't even know. Like, I think maybe I was just bad information that I got. I don't know. It was so long ago, and frankly, the game is not that great.
Wow.
Kika L says, I hated that boss. Yeah, Resident Evil 6. Yeah. Leon says, I love Resident Evil 5 and 6, but it's fun. Blue Flare says there's a poll. Yeah, I actually don't know where the link is, so
I couldn't find it.
Yeah, you know what? I have to double check and actually find the link. You know what? If we cut that into a video, I will have the link there so you guys can actually vote. Judy Cutter says, I love Dino 1 and 2. Dude, especially Dino Crisis 2 almost felt, and for people that haven't played Dino Crisis 2, it almost felt like it felt like Resident Evil 4. It felt like Resident Evil 4, but stuck in like the fixed camera angles. There was so much action in the game. It was just, it's such a good game. Yeah, while Dino Crisis 1 kind of felt a little closer to like Resident Evil 3, I guess, or Resident Evil 2, but I don't know. I've always preferred Dino Crisis 2. Yeah. Bluefair says, anyone have the link to Capcom's? Yeah, no. Ramon Salazar says, what do you prefer, Osmond Sadler from 2005 or 2023? That's a good question. What do you think, Byrus?
I just like him from 2005 because he sounds like the Jarl from Whiterun in Skyrim. It's the same voice. Pretty sure.
Oh, it is?
I think so. I could be wrong, but he sounds so familiar.
Yeah, well, you know what? You know what was interesting was that the 2023 Osmond Sadler, he doesn't have a Spanish accent. While the 2005 one,
you're right.
He does. But
I guess I didn't notice that.
But the funny thing is that the 2023 one, he does speak Spanish. So if you guys have seen my video, the secret details of Resident Evil 4, we did go over that he does say sangre, which means like family, or it could be, or it literally translates to blood. But somebody in my comments actually said, oh, there's a second translation that could also mean family. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I had no idea. But yeah, he says sangre. He also says something else in Spanish. Actually, I forgot. But in the OG, I don't think he spoke Spanish. But he had a Spanish accent. But you know what? It wasn't from Spain. It was like a generic Latin American Spanish accent. Yeah. Like Mr. Kennedy, what Hollywood movies or whatever. Like it was like, or I don't remember the exact quote, but you know what I mean. Like he was doing well.
Yeah, I know, I do. Oh man.
Well, this one sounded like his nose was plugged, right? Like the holy body, like. That's just his line in this one. So he didn't sound Spanish at all, even though, even when you go and traverse through the island of Resident Evil 4, you do see that, his family, his ancestors have been on the island for quite some time, right? I think there's also an Adam Sandler. Did you ever run into that? Adam Sandler?
I haven't, no.
Which it was like, where Ashley where he's doing like the ritual, like in like the ruin place,
right? Yeah.
And then that's when Eda comes.
Yeah, okay.
Behind the pillar, if you look at the pillar, you can, or at the pillar, you can read his like ancestor, and it says Adam Sandler.
Okay, I did see that then.
Which makes you think of the actor, right?
Adam Sandler is canon in the RE universe.
Yeah, so it's definitely like a Easter egg. Yeah. Let's see. Man, she's so hot. Oh, referring to Rebecca Chang, dude. Rebecca Chang was like so hot, man. She's so she's too hot. She needs to calm down. She needs to. So if we ever got a remake of that, sheesh, they're gonna have to do a good job.
They won't. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
They wouldn't.
I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. Yeah. That's what I want to. Yeah. Hello. Hey, Dodger. What's up, man? Yeah, Dodger, it depends what PS2 you have. The fat ones need a network adapter. Slims had an Ethernet port. Oh, interesting. Yeah, my fat one had like a big block attached to it. And then that's what you would use. And I brought up like a new like interface. I don't know. I never tried it. Like that's as far as I got to to that. Kika says, I want RE5 remake so bad. Me too. Yeah, I hated that door puzzle in Dino Crisis 1. Which one is that? Which one is that? Because Dino Crisis 1 had a bunch of puzzles that I wasn't a big... Like the box one, that's the one that I hated. It was just useless. It was just push the box. But I mean, Resident Evil also had that. Like if you remember Resident Evil Remake, had where you have to push the long hallway when you're entering the laboratory. And I don't know. And to walk on...
There's a few of them in that game too, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also like in the guardhouse or the residence place. Yeah, that was with the plant, and you have to push the box, what covers it. Yeah, anytime there's boxes, I'm kind of annoyed. So, yeah.
So tedious.
Leon says Jurassic World took some similar scene from Dino Crisis. Oh, did it? I had no idea. Did it? Oh, okay. Dodger says, as good as RE4 Remake is, it doesn't replace the original. None of the remakes do except for the first one. Well, I prefer the original, actually. Yeah, Byrus, have you ever played the first Resident Evil, or did you just play the remake?
I haven't played. Well, that's a lie. I played a few minutes of the OG one, and then my PlayStation 1 completely went kaput as I was playing, and I said, "Okay, well, that was short-lived."
Dang.
But I did play the RE make. I streamed it. A while back. Yeah. That was fun. Tedious, but fun.
Yeah, it's they added more rooms, more stuff, more enemies, different stuff. I don't know. I prefer the original mansion just because there's lights. Like one of the aesthetic things that I really liked about it is that it just felt creepy. Like you go into a mansion in the middle of the woods and all the lights are turned on. Like that's a little weird. And then obviously there's monsters and stuff. But and the other one obviously was scary. Like it was more spooky. It had a lot of like lighting from. Yeah, they also, it seemed like they were working on RE4 assets, and they kind of used that. I'm specifically thinking of like the ruin area when you go down to like Ashley's, like, sorry, not Ashley, Lisa Trevor's kind of like, boss fight at the bottom there behind like the stairwell, the stairwell. Yeah. Oh, Ramon said the line. He says, "Feeble humans, let us give you our power." Yeah, that's it. That's the old Sadler. Let's see. What is your favorite camera angle for a Resident Evil game? Kika asks, "What do you think, Byrus? What do you think? Are you good at the tank controls?" That's a good question. Yeah.
No, I am not.
But also, to be fair, I think I also, when I was watching Resident Evil Code Veronica, you said that it was you didn't grow up with like playing the tank control.
I didn't. No, and I feel like such a phony because of it.
No.
Like, I don't get me wrong. I can play with the controlled camera, the fixed camera angles and tank controls. No problem. It just takes me a little to get used to it. Once I've got my groove, I'm going.
Yeah.
But and I prefer over the shoulder third person. It's just what I grew up playing more. A lot of shooters.
And that's what I was going to ask too. What do you think of the first person stuff with like Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8?
I know you said you weren't a fan. I personally don't mind it.
Yeah. Which do you prefer?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, probably third.
Third, okay, yeah.
First was good in the context of Seven's story because everything was small and confined in this Louisiana home, and they wanted you to feel constricted within these walls. Yeah. So that works. When it went to Resident Evil 8, I felt like it could have done without it. Like I wouldn't have cared either way.
Yeah.
It helped for some rooms, and obviously with the overall gameplay. Yeah. I know they came out with a third-person patch.
Yeah. Did you try that one out?
I haven't. I'm saving it for a rainy day.
No, I liked it. Yeah, but the only thing
I heard it was good.
Is that Ethan's face is always covered, so you only see this side of just.
Yeah, and he turns
if you
around
turn
with
the
camera or whatever,
it shifts back. Like it shifts back to like.
Right. Yeah, I've heard. It's then the cutscenes are in first person too, so they didn't even.
Yeah.
They didn't bother.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting is that Resident Evil 7 was a game that was obviously like they developed with first person in mind, because
of course,
especially with like the glasses that you would find, and you could like crouch to look at like, oh, there's like a little hidden thing behind here, so you get that, you know what I mean? But But other than that, I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of first person. I didn't like the blocking system that you would like. Ethan would just block like that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the whole look of, because it's also awkward for the actor too. Like this is something that I stated in my previous videos. But one of my issues was that, like for example, I'll give you the example of Resident Evil 8. You know in Luis's home when all the remaining villagers in RE8 get killed. And then Ethan, there's like a burning building. You have to drive through in the house.
Yeah, in the beginning, Luisa's home.
Yeah, Luisa. Yeah, and you go up the stairs or whatever, and then Luisa falls down because her dad is like infected or whatever, and she's like, "Dad," and she acts really she dies.
I don't know why they did that.
There's a scene that follows that I have a huge issue with, and this kind of just confirms what I'm saying. Right, is that Ethan goes to the window, and there's like a beautiful like scenery of like the mountains and the castle, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets upset, and he's like, "Damn it!" And he hits. All you see is from his perspective hitting the side of his wall, and he's like, "Oh, everybody's dying around me," and all of that. And it makes it awkward because you're not seeing his facial emotions. The only thing the actor has to work with is just his hands. So even like sometimes an enemy will happen. He's like, no, don't shoot. No. And it's just his hands. So you
just feel that disconnect. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just acting with his hands.
I get that. I understand that complaint. That's fair. That's a valid argument.
Yeah. And that just always I was like, dude, like I want to see his face. And that's actually something we discussed last time we were talking, right? Is that, off stream, right? That, one of the things that Resident Evil 7 one of my theories that turned out to be true was that I already theorized before Resident Evil 8 came out that Ethan was going to die. And I'm like, the reason I think he's going to die is because we've literally never seen his face. Capcom, just show us his face. What are you doing? Like, seriously. And, I talked about this in I think 2 videos ago, and some people got upset, but I'm like, one of the stupidest things about Resident Evil 7 is that the director wanted the player to feel as if you were Ethan. And you played Resident Evil 7. Did you ever feel like you were Ethan?
So here's the game. That's like the gripe I kind of have with these sorts of games that make you want to feel like the character, because you can never truly feel like it, because at any instance you can be taken out of it. No problem. I can feel like I'm myself in there. Like when I first played it, I felt entranced in this world and I wanted to explore it. I was also scared absolutely shitless.
Yeah.
Right. So they did a good job of that, but me feeling like Ethan, he's just generic white man. Like there was nothing. I didn't feel anything for his wife. Like she's missing for 3 years, and she sends me this video message like, "Hey, I've been lost. Find me." It's like, oh, it's got to be some kind of prank, bro. Like that already took me out from the beginning. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't take this silly little guy seriously. So I'm just gonna
I 100%.
I'm gonna pretend it's me, and I'm just killing. Just killing the cannibals or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, and the issue I had was that it's almost like the director wanted to make a Resident Evil RPG. Like that's one of the things that RPGs do really great at, is that you get to decide, like for example, if it's Mass Effect or like a Dragon Age game, you get to decide, or like Baldur's Gate 3 that just released, you get to decide what you say, what your characters say in this situation. So for example, I think it would have been a lot better to make the player feel like Ethan if the whole game was like that. Like for example, when you talk to the officer that shows up, if you decide like, hey officer, like you can pick different dialogues to choose, that would have made our connection with Ethan a lot better, just without his overall. But since it wasn't an RPG, but they did keep that weird like
at
ending.
The end. That literally didn't matter because they had the canon when the DLC came out. Yeah, I don't
pick your wife or pick Zoe.
Random lady.
Random.
And then if you choose random lady, sorry guy, it's not canon. In this next DLC we're about to show you. So it's like, okay. Well.
So it seemed like the Resident Evil 7, like the team that worked on it was like fighting internally. Like, should we make it into an RPG? Let's not. Let's do this. But I want the player to feel like Ethan. So let's do first person. And it's like, guys, nobody feels like Ethan when you're playing the game. Like nobody.
It's
like Ethan. And like you just said, Ethan feels like he's his own character, but he's a very boring character. Like he's like plain yogurt is how
he just feels dejected from everything.
Yeah. Like there's no flavor, and it's just very bland. It's very like his reaction to things. Like it's just, he's not an interesting character. And I think, well, though a lot of people that do like Ethan, and I've actually talked with my viewers about this, is that they said that they liked how Ethan was nice. And so that's the only connection that they have. But since we don't see his face, that's not enough to build like an actual, like, you know, when you see a character like Leon or Jill or Chris, you know what I mean? Like, you know those characters, or like Ashley. We were just talking about Ashley, right? Like the remake Ashley, she's somebody you would want to hang out with. You know what I mean? Like, you see her facial expressions, you see how she conducts herself, how she comports herself in situations. You know what I mean? Like, it's but with Ethan, you don't. All you have is just hand mimings and you know, like, oh, and putting back my leg, and it's like that's all you're getting. Or
put back my leg.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of people in the channel know that Resident Evil 7 is not my favorite. Like, it's not. Like, I don't.
And I'm the opposite. I think RE7's goated. So
yeah, no, and you know what? I'm in the minority. Like, a lot of people know this, but that's just how I feel, right? I feel like that. That's just my opinion. It's all subjective, right? There's no right or wrong answer. You know what I mean? Like, some people like Resident Evil 5. That's their favorite game. You know, some people they like Resident Evil 6 more than Resident Evil 7. As I told one of my viewers, and my viewer was like, "What? Who? What
yeah,
people?"
That was my same reaction too when you told me.
That's me, by the way. Yeah, I prefer RE6. You know what? I think it's because I've had so much more fun with RE6, even though it's still a bad game. Like, I'm not defending the game. Like, one of the things that I'll always say about RE6 is that the controls are janky. Like, especially when you're running up the stairs, you run in slow motion because they didn't fix the animation. Or sometimes if you're running in a corner, like too close to a wall, you kind of like skid, and you kind of skid while you're running.
Right.
It's everybody's shoulders like this, and then everybody's running the same, and it's very janky. So it's not the best game, but I've had such a great time with it because I always played with my friends. You know, Resident Evil 6.
And that's probably what made it such a memorable experience for you, right?
That saved it for me, yeah. So all of the bad stuff, all the stuff that
right.
just made no sense, like the T-Rex thing that we were talking about, or like the fly final form of Derek, it all got mitigated because I guess me and my friends had a good time making fun of it, you know? So, yeah. Well, Resident Evil 7 was a solo experience, and all of the issues were just really apparent to me. Like, one of the things that I talked about with one of my viewers was RE7 didn't explain why Ethan could put back his hand, staple it, or put back his leg. Like, they didn't do a good job of explaining that. They explained the reasoning in Resident Evil 8. That's when we got the actual explanation that Ethan was infected. And that's a great explanation. But why was that not in Resident Evil 7? You know what I mean? I
think they maybe just wanted to make you guess, sort of deal, because you did have the vision at the end where he's in the mold with, I mean, obviously we don't know that at the time, with Jack and Zoe, but that's the only thing you really get from there is that. Yeah. So it does, just kind of comes as a shock in RE8.
Well, for me, I always call that bad writing when it's like the next book or the next movie has to say, "Oh yeah, you remember that thing? Remember that thing that made no sense in the previous game? Oh yeah, that was because of this." Yeah.
And the fact that like no one questions it, he doesn't question it, also makes it feel like it's somewhat dejected from the overall.
Yeah, story. Exactly. That's a really excellent point. Ethan is never like, "How am I putting back my leg? What is happening here?" Like, they could have added that scene to make it be like, yeah, what is happening here? If they did have the answer, it makes it very apparent that they obviously did know why Ethan was healing like that. They just chopped it up to a healing mechanic. And that was actually one of the counter arguments that I heard from one of my viewers. They were like, well, in the previous RE games, if you got hurt, you would just spray, or eat some green herbs and you'd be fine. But my counter argument to that counter argument is that in previous RE games, you would never lose limbs. You would get scratched up, you would get hit, you would get, diced up. But if you ever lost a limb, you were dead. Like Resident Evil 4 with the chainsaw and your head getting decapitated, or Resident Evil 1 with the hunters just swiping you. You know what I mean? Like, you're dead. There's no, I'm just going to put out, I'm just going to put. So that me playing Resident Evil 7 without the knowledge of Resident Evil 8 kind of ruined it. That was one of the things that also I was like, what is happening here? Like, this makes no sense. Why is he putting back his leg? It affected my suspended disbelief. Right? Like, when you're watching a movie, there is that you suspend your disbelief to enjoy the movie or enjoy whatever media you're enjoying. But Resident Evil 7, that kept taking me out. I was like, why is he putting back his arm, his leg, his his fingers.
If you just
whatever.
think of it as bro is just cosplaying as a Lego character. It's not
It
that
fit-
bad. It's
yeah,
not that
yeah.
bad.
But that's what you need. That's my point, right? You would need to make something else to suspend your disbelief more.
Yeah, exactly.
Which the previous games didn't have, right? You would just be dead at that point. So, yeah. But that's just my little rant on Resident Evil 7 and why I didn't have a good time with it. But don't get me wrong. If you guys, I know I'm in the minority, and a lot of people love Resident Evil 7. That's fine. All right, guys. That's fine. Yeah. Let's see. Do you think RE9 is going to be in first or third person? You know what, Dodge? That's a good question. What do you think, Byrus? Because I actually answered this in my previous video, but I'll let you go first.
You know, I feel like they'll probably go back to third, because if they want to probably start making it more than action type. Because, you know, with 7, they went back to their roots with horror. Apparently, the game was supposed to be scarier, and they stripped some of it back because it was too scary.
Yeah.
And then 8 kind of nulled the formula to, okay, maybe let's tone it back some more, and they did.
Yeah.
And then RE4 was even more so like that. And I feel like they may just keep the first-person thing strictly for the Winters story. And I feel like they'll go back to the third person over the shoulder.
Well,
if
even
they want to try and make it more.
Even with the Winter story, like what was funny was that Shadow of Rose, we saw her face.
Oh, dude, don't get me started on Shadow of Rose.
What did you think of Shadow of Rose? I actually want to know. What did you think?
So bad.
Actually, what? Well, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. What was bad about it? What did you not like about this? Because I agree. Just before you talk, I 100% agree. But go on.
She's Iron Man now.
With their flower powers?
Number one, yeah, with their flower powers. Evelyn comes out of nowhere because she's just been manifesting in the mold. So I guess Rose has to fight herself now, or whatever that was supposed to be. Like, the pacing was bad. The mannequin section pissed me off. I died like 7 different times because I can't run fast enough. I have to walk at a jogging pace.
Yeah.
So that was just another thing. It just wasn't good. The writing is bad. It was predictable. As soon as I saw the writing, I'm like, oh, this is Ethan. And then 3 hours later, didn't see
Everybody guessed it. Everybody guessed it. Like,
So
before the game came out. That's Ethan talking to her.
It's Ethan. I was like, yeah, you call me Michael. No, I'm calling you Ethan, buddy. Don't see again. Taking me out. Like, I feel like Rose could have been. I feel like they just made her a throwaway. Unless she makes some kind of appearance in 9, I feel like they could have done more with her.
Well, that's the thing, right? And this is something like
she's a born bioweapon, so it's that'd be kind of a cool story to tell, because everyone's juicing themselves up.
Yeah,
let's, like, an actual born bioweapon would be kind of cool to explore.
Yeah, and like as mentioned, this is something that I discussed too in my Resident Evil 9. Is that, well, I talked about it in the comments. Is that it wouldn't really work? Oh, my cat's here. It wouldn't really work if if she show it. It's my little kitten. He's about to turn 1. But yeah.
Oh, so cute.
It's Rocket. His name is Rocket.
Rocket?
Yeah.
What a name.
Rocket. His mom is actually a munchkin cat, like a dwarf cat, but he's not a dwarf. No, we were kind of scared at first, like my mom, my family, like my parents and stuff. They're like, is he gonna be like a little dwarf cat? But no. I think his dad. He got his dad's genes.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That would have been cute though, but
yeah. Happy early birthday, Rocket. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Cat. But yeah.
Hey, Shadow Cat. I didn't realize you're in here. Sorry, we were discussing so much. She's one of mine.
Oh, she's your viewer. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. What was I gonna say is that Shadow of Rose. She's 16, and this takes place 16 years after so I think 16 years after 2021. That's when she was born, right? So it's way off into the future. And Resident Evil 9, it wouldn't make sense for Resident Evil 9 to tell Rose's story, like, because she would be like a kid. Because
I don't think they will.
Because Resident Evil 8, right at the end of it, Chris is headed to the the BSAA, the Biosecurity Assessment Alliance headquarters, European branch, to see why are they using BOWs. So it seems like Resident Evil 9 is going to be a direct sequel, and so I don't think we'll ever see Rose again. Like, maybe way off into the future if Resident Evil is still like a brand in 2030.
Yeah.
But even so, it would have to be later because she's 16, and this, I think. Let's do some quick math, shall we?
I mean, I'm okay with that. If we don't get Rose again, I mean, it's not that big a deal. But I just wish they'd utilized her a little better.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
Plus 16. 2037. So Shadow of Rose takes place in 2037. That's way off, man. So for her to be an adult, it would have to be 2040. So I don't think I think they're leaving it there for like if Resident Evil lasts that long, like
comes around.
We'll use her like then, but not now. You know what I mean? So I think it was just used to conclude the story of Ethan, and that's exactly what they said, right? Like we're done with the Winters family. We're never seeing them again, and so that's what I mean, right? Like it's it's not gonna we're not gonna see them again. But But my issue with Shadow of Rose was there were so many, but I guess just to do like I did a whole review about it, but a quick summary. I didn't like how they really played up the supernatural aspect, which, you know, Resident Evil has never been like that. It's always been pseudoscience, right? Like pseudo sci-fi science, you know what I mean? Like it's, well, pseudoscience, it's like fake science essentially. To do kind of like this sci-fi world where it's like talking about like conspiracies or with like Umbrella and how this pharmaceutical company in the town is so it's like a lot of conspiracies stuff going on, or like with Resident Evil 4 they added the whole cult thing, right? But it wasn't really a cult, it wasn't magic or anything like that. What was behind the cult was an ancient, you know, a parasite that affected everything. So that was a nice twist to what it was. But like I said, it's always been pseudoscience mixed in with this sci-fi kind of zombie kind of, you know, world. The thing with Shadow of Rose is that they really made it very mystical, especially when they added the whole aspect with the Megamycete being its own kind of spirit kind of world, where it's its own like upside down world. Oh, hey Rocket, what's up? He still wants to be petted. Anyways, so yeah, they made that whole happen, and it kind of felt like Stranger Things, to be honest. And especially when you went into the world of the Megamycete and you fought like Miranda again with that really super powered fight with the mold and all that other stuff. It was just really supernatural, which again is not Resident Evil. That's what I would argue. And the whole mannequin section was super boring. I wasn't a big fan of the mannequin section in Resident Evil 8, like in general. Or sorry, it was the House Beneviento. That's the actual place that it's called, right? But the baby section, that I wasn't a big fan of. First off, I wasn't scared of that section. The mannequin section also, I thought it was just a cheaper version of the baby section. But one of the things that I didn't like is that you didn't fight. You didn't fight the thing. They took away all your weapons, and that's never been the case for Resident Evil. Resident Evil has always been the case that if you run out of ammo, you still got that knife. You know what I mean? You can still knife enemies. And you know, Code Veronica did like I think the knife in Code Veronica, or now Resident Evil 4 Remake, kind of takes the cake with being the best knifing. You know what I mean? Combat, but you always have that to fall back on. You know what I mean? And what's cool about that is that it plays into the survival aspect of the horror, where it's like, you know, if you ran out of bullets, it's your fault. Like this is on you. We gave you bullets, you used it incorrectly, so. You know what I mean? That's you. Now all you have is a knife. Like you got to make it count. You got to make every bullet count. So the fact that they took away those like even her powers in the mannequin section, you just had to sneak. You just had to go around and sneak between all those little dolls and the little like they had like the little dolls that were dancing and stuff. And you had to like hide away from them. You had a big doll that was like walking around. You had to like hide behind a little thing. Like it wasn't Resident Evil. Like Resident Evil's never been that. So there was so many things about it. The flower powers, as you mentioned, was a big like turn off for me. I was like, what's happening here? What is happening? And just things that just made no sense was like how the Duke was there. So the Duke never died, but and you can actually read a file in Shadow of Rose where it specifies that Miranda was doing an experiment to bring back people that aren't in the spirit world / Megamycete upside down world. And so she made up a guy, and that's why he's so screwed up in that one. But it's like, what? Like, how do you make a person? Like, I don't understand. Like, obviously, the Megamycete is a place that keeps your consciousness. So I guess your soul, it keeps your soul. And again, these are terms that Resident Evil has never had. So I guess that's my quick summary of why I didn't like Shadow of Rose. There's just so many issues. But yeah. Sorry guys, we missed a bunch of chats. Let's read. And then we'll go on to the next the next topic. Kika Eli says, I think it's going to be an interchangeable camera angle. Yeah, and I didn't actually finish with that. As stated in my previous video, I think it would be good to have first person as like an option. Like you can pick first person if you want, but let's make it third person the default thing, and let's add VR. So VR2, whatever, VR3, when the game
they'll
releases.
Probably end up doing anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that just adds, just the player's choice. Like, hey, you want to play it like this, play it like that. But we recommend playing it in third person. I think that's the way to go, like you said. But yeah, Blue Flare says, I'm not a fan of those blank slate characters like Ethan. They're often bland and boring. Exactly. As mentioned, I think he's just like plain yogurt. Like there's no flavor at all. It's not even vanilla. Nothing. That's how I see Ethan. But yeah,
he just doesn't have the sauce. And I like Ethan. He just don't got sauce.
Yeah, man. He's nice, but he's not. You wouldn't go out on the town with Ethan. No, you wouldn't hang out.
No, you wouldn't. He's the guy when you make your character. He's the default face template. That's who he is.
Kat says, I think the use of every man is good. You can project yourself on the character, but it has to be more choice-based. Exactly. Yes. Because if you're going to make it into an RPG, you can't just like half-ass it like in certain sections, like at the end with
you have to go all in or not at all.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't. What is that Ron Swanson quote? You can't half-ass things. You have to full-ass. So full-ass one
Is
thing.
The Office?
Yeah. No, I think Parks.
Oh, also another one I haven't watched.
Kat says, I'm new. What's your favorite RE? That's a good question. Yeah. I'll let you go first, Byrus. Kat also asked this question. 4?
I think
yeah. That's a good answer. For me,
it's a safe answer, but it's the best one in my opinion.
It is. I like to split it up. So I like to split it up into like generations. So you have the fixed camera, the whatchamacallit, the third person, and then the first person, and I guess now it's back to third person, right? So yeah. I say for third person, definitely 4. And that's even remake and the OG. Because the remake did a fantastic job, but they are different. I gotta say 4 for the third person is amazing. Not for first person, for the fixed camera angle, I would have to say it's a 2 for you. That's a safe answer too.
I'm playing it right now, actually, as we speak. So.
Oh, you are? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Is this your first time going through it?
It is, yeah, and I'm enjoying it. It's fun.
Yeah. All right. For me, I have to say RE1. Like the OG, not even the remake, the OG. I think for me, like there's so much things that I really like about it. And this is a game that I actually played later in life because I never grew up with I didn't have a GameCube, so I never played like the remake. So I did play the OG when it released like on PlayStation 3 when as a teenager. I played the OG on PS3 and I just liked it a lot more than when I played the remake when it released for PlayStation later on in 2015. So yeah, I have to say the first one. But you know what? Code Veronica, though, too. I really like Code Veronica. I think one of the things that I really love about Code Veronica was all the locations. You get to go to freaking Antarctica, like in a secret Bond villain base. Like,
yeah.
Like you're like in an island. There's like a palace. There's another mansion. There's just the areas were just really cool. So
they were.
Yeah, it's a close tie between Resident Evil 1 and Code Veronica for me for that one. And then for the later ones, like the first person, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, I guess Resident Evil 8, just because it had like RE4 components, but it wasn't good. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I don't think Resident Evil 8 is fantastic. I think it's okay. It's
an
great.
Acceptable game.
Yeah. That's how I agree. But yeah. And then So I guess that's my answer based on like generations. Jodger says, I didn't like RE7 very much. I hated the molded. They were such boring enemies, and I got tired of them quickly. Yes. The enemies were super boring.
Yes, that's another... Yeah, I agree with that.
I didn't like how
they added more variety.
Yeah. And you just fought that enemy for the majority, right? Just like the typical mold guy, right?
Yeah, you had Goopy Monster, you had four-legged Goopy Monster, and then you had big fat Goopy Monster.
Yeah, the little one that jumped up, right, and did a lot of damage. Yeah. And I also heard that they cut out a dog version that they were gonna have.
Yes, I heard that too.
Yeah, and that's like that would have been better. Like I would have liked that.
But they may have reworked it to be the four-legged one that we got in the end anyway, because it moves kind of similar, where it's quick and agile. Kind of jumps. Right? So I don't know.
Leon says, I'd rather hang out with Sadler than Ethan. Yes. The holy body.
Oh my
Kat
God.
says, I've told Virus I like RE6 and he was shocked. I had to say, hey, trust me, bro. Trust me. Dude, I agree with you, Kat. No, I 100% agree.
Yeah, I've yet to play.
Yeah, I like RE6. I like it. We're actually playing it right now with my friend because my friend's always down. She's like, dude, if you're playing RE6 on the channel, you just let me know. I'm there. Okay. She even bought it. She has the physical version and she
Wow.
lost it. So she's like, I'm just going to buy it again. I was like, dang. All right, Caitlin, you need to calm down. But it's because he had, so much fun over the years. But anyways, John Constantine says RE7 gave us RE2 remake and RE4, so it's fine. Exactly, and I do want to specify that even though I don't like a certain RE game, like I've said on the channel, I'm not the biggest fan of RE0 and RE7. I don't hate them. They're still part of Resident Evil for me, so it's not like I was like, oh, it's the worst game in the world. That's not what I'm saying. It's just for me, it's not the one that I go back to as often. Is how I would characterize it, right? So yeah.
Alan.
Leon says Revelation 2 is underrated in raid mode. True. Have you played the Revelation? Yeah, you played Revelations 2, right? But not the first one.
I haven't played. No. Okay. So briefly, my brother had on his 3DS, and I played maybe 15 minutes of it. So that's my Rev 2 knowledge.
I see, like the first one. Yeah.
I'm a fake, man. You brought me on here, and these people probably expecting so much more.
No. And
I'm a phony.
No.
I'm a fraud, guys.
You're not a phony. You're more of a newer like generation fan, right? So you are doing Resident Evil content, and hey, you know what? You played Resident Evil Code Veronica, which a lot of people still haven't played. Like even though a lot of people came to the series with RE7 or they came with RE4, they haven't gone back to play Code Veronica. So you're already beating them on that front.
Hey, you hear that? I got my points back.
Yeah, you're beating them on that front. So yeah, but you're getting there.
I'll cover all the bases eventually.
Yeah. Well, even for me, like there's 3 Resident Evil games that I haven't played. I haven't played. Like I said, I played Outbreak, but I never beat it. I have to do that. And I know that they've done mods and stuff, so you can actually play it with people now. That'd be great to do. I don't know if you'd ever be down to do that, Virus, but that'd be
for Outbreak, right?
Yeah. Like,
that'd be a blast, actually.
Yeah, people have made mods and they've made like a fan like server room so that you can just play and do that. So yeah,
I have actually seen that. Now that you mention it, so that would be a fun time. I'd enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so we'll definitely plan that out. In the future we'll do that. So yeah, I haven't beaten Outbreak. I have never played Gaiden and Gun Survivor 1. Oh, and obviously Umbrella Corp, because I heard it was so bad. I'm like, I'm not even going to touch that. But Gun Survivor 1, I never played. But I actually have it. I have it now. My brother actually downloaded it for me. So I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll play that on the channel too. And you know what else? I think I haven't beaten Operation Javier. Oh, no, not Operation Javier. My Operation Raccoon City. Never, because there's like 2 stories there. And I'm pretty sure I beat like the Umbrella side, but not like the other I think it was like a SWAT team. Those guys, I never beat that part, so I didn't 100% complete that one.
Yeah, that was Operation Raccoon City. That's just Hunk's unit, no?
Yeah, there's Hunk's unit, and then there's also another, I think, DLC where you play as the other. That's what I mean. The DLC I never beat, but I have to do that. Yeah, and it's also hard because on Steam apparently you can't play it. But yeah,
unfortunate.
The goop juice. Cat says, I thought, let's catch up, guys. I'm going to try to catch up. Okay, I thought the mold was incredibly interesting as a whole, but you don't have actual answers until the next. But maybe that's why RE7 was so different and good. Yeah, and it was different. I 100% agree with you. RE7 did play more of a horror aspect. I would actually go so far as to say that it's probably the scariest in all of Resident Evil because it was just all horror. Like, a lot of it, like even like the disappearing act,
every second of it.
The disappearing, yeah. And it brought a lot of fans to the series, but there's no other game that you could play that's like Resident Evil 7, like exactly like Resident Evil 7, and that's the issue, right? Because Resident Evil 7 was so different. Even RE8, they was kind of a combination of RE4. So, like, what other game is there that's like? What do you think?
Well,
Virus?
We could have gotten one, but Konami. We'll get there eventually. I'm sure,
you're talking about Silent Hill? Silent Hill?
About PT, yeah.
Oh, PT, yeah.
That's where they probably derived that inspiration from. PT back in 2014, and then everyone's been trying to.
That's a great point.
That hype since.
Yeah, And you
I
said you
feel like
played that.
RE7 is probably the closest. I did.
You
Yeah.
played that. I didn't play that. I didn't. It was so good.
Yeah,
Everybody still talks about it
dude,
to this day.
it was probably the most terrifying experience I've ever had playing a
When was that? 14 years ago now, or no, 10?
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
2014. Yeah.
Yeah. Sheesh. Yeah, I have to see if anybody's like actually got the game and actually put it out there. They probably have, right? I don't know. That'd be fun to try out, but yeah, like
Well, you can't get it anymore. It was a teaser. It was a playable free teaser on the PlayStation Store, and then when they scrapped the project, they removed it.
Yeah. So only people that had it like in their download like folder or whatever, or their download like
can play it. Yeah.
List. So yeah. Let's continue. Let's see. If I miss any comments, just let me know, guys. We'll read it again. What RE DLC did you like more, Separate Ways or Shadow of Rose? We just trashed Shadow of Rose, so I think it's safe to say you
probably
guys.
Shadows of Rose. I'd say. I don't know. I kind of actually, you know what? I think it was a little harsh on the game.
No, Separate Ways for sure. Yeah,
Separate Ways.
Bleeper, I know, but franchise returned to its roots because of RE7. Yeah, no, I don't think it returned to its roots as we just discussed. I think we got a new thing completely. So it just went down the horror route way more than the action side. And I think it's its own separate thing. I don't agree that it went back to its horror roots. I named my cats Jake and Albert. Dude, that's awesome. I was actually thinking of naming like my new cat Whisker, you know, like Wesker. But I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Whisker.
Yeah. Kat says, if you could choose, what would you want RE9 to be about? You know, I did a full video about that. So I can't dissect all of that into like maybe a couple seconds. I'll try. Bring back a bunch of characters. Focus on bringing back some old characters from RE, and I guess what else did I say in that video? It was a big video too. I recommend watching that, but I did it. That was like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, if you want to check that out, yeah, you can definitely do that. My bad. I got a lot to say about RE. No, it's awesome. Kat says the mole was more Resident Evil than anything to do with supernatural apps because of the science. Yeah, no, definitely. But the Mega Mice seat was definitely.
I think we're talking about how they ventured that with the Shadows of Rose, how they tried to make it a little more supernaturally with the mannequins and the dolls and
but it was the mold, right?
Yeah.
That was the backstory for the mold. So even though Resident Evil 7 didn't do the supernatural side of it, that's where it ended up, like concluding was with the supernatural with RE8 story and RE Shadow of Rose story. So yeah. Oh, thank you so much for following Pilot for Spirit. I really appreciate it on Twitch. Pilot says, yeah, RE7 has very few enemies, and most of the time they'd be the same thing due to repetitive enemies. Bummed out that repetitive enemies bummed that for me, but I like the game. Yeah. RE6 is a mess, but it can be fun. Exactly. I 100% agree, Dodger. Leon says, bro, the moldeds are just tar-dipped, cheap knockoffs of regenerators. Yes. Yeah. They literally are. Yeah. I would agree with that. My God. Kat says, yeah, but literally me too, Kaylin. I agree. Yeah, you're always down for Resident Evil 6, Kat. Ramon says, maybe he meant 2005 Osmond Sadler version. Oh, I don't know. Pilot says, we're almost done, guys. We're almost caught up. Operation Raccoon City was an okay game, but it was Gears of War, but Resident Evil and the story was iffy, in my opinion. Yes, and it wasn't canon, right? It didn't fit with anything. It was kind of its own thing. So I did play a lot of it, but I never concluded that other side. So I only beat it once, but yeah. Ramon Salazar says, I want a remake of Resident Evil 1 remake and Code Veronica and also RE5. No, definitely. Even RE0 if you want to throw it. Just remake everything.
Take them all of it. Yeah, I'll take all of it. I'll take all of it.
Remake 7 so that you can fit that into the story that, hey, like...
Yeah, do the Naughty Dog thing and release it 3 years after it came out and remaster it.
Yeah, definitely.
For it.
I think fans would still like it. We still like it.
I'd still play it. Hell yeah.
Show us Ethan's face. Add third person. I'd be down. But you would have to make the game from ground up, so it would only work for a remake. Kat says RE7 genuinely scared me so much that's what it made it so fun. So true. Yeah. Well, for me, I don't really get scared, so that aspect didn't work. It doesn't. Like I'm not somebody that I get scared with stuff. So yeah, Umbrella Corp is the scariest. You can avoid it by all means. True. I've heard that might take the cake. Yeah, I've heard so many bad things about that, but there is story like canon stuff in there, so I should play it. Maybe we'll do that as a stream, just like a funny stream. I don't know if you would be down to join in that
so
horrendous game. Let's play online. It's just us in just like a single lobby,
just being absolutely miserable the whole time.
I kind of like that. Idea.
That'd be funny.
Anyways, we caught up. It says Ramon says, I want a remake of Resident Evil 1 remake and Resident Evil Code Veronica and adding third-person view to RE4. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you just said the same thing. Yeah, we got that. And 100% agree. Yeah, third person is, we discussed that earlier. It definitely needs to go. But you know what? Let's move on to the second, or not the second topic. We talked a lot of topics. But Resident Evil 4 is what I wanted to talk about. We kind of discussed this before off stream, but what do you think, like you were mentioning before, since obviously the gold edition for Resident Evil 4 Remake came out, that kind of is just solidifies that we're not going to get anything new for the game. Like that would be really wild if we did. And I think most of the fans would want that. I mean, so many people wanted a Luis DLC in my comments. And that's because the rumors out there were so many rumors that we were going to get a Luis DLC and stuff. And that obviously didn't turn out to be true. If it does, that'd be amazing. Don't get me wrong. But so what do you think? What would you think, Luis, if we were to hypothetically, let's just say Capcom was working on Luis, what do you think would be cool to see in that?
There's probably a few different things. I kind of like to see what happened within the lab where everything sort of went wrong with the team.
Yeah.
And then how everything sort of shortly transpired. Because I know it was still like a little bit of a time window before Leon shows up.
Yeah.
So seeing that divulge from
and how he escaped the lab
would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say more of his side,
his perspective,
while he was off doing his own thing. Yeah. But we kind of got that with the separate ways. So
yeah. So you would want more flamenco dancing and stuff?
Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me? That's all I want is my sexy Spanish man walking around or dancing around. Hell yeah. Can never get enough of that.
Yeah. I thought one of the things that I said in my review was that I thought that scene was kind of put in the weirdest spot because he was just dancing in the jail and he was like
they just murdered 4 people.
Yeah, there's just people dead there and he's just dancing like he doesn't care. I was like, that's a little weird to dance there, but I mean, where else could you put it? It would have to be like in a solo, and that would just be weird if you're just like, I'm gonna dance. But it's like, yeah, it's weird regardless. Like it's weird to fit in there. I'm glad that they fit it in there, but I would have liked it if it was more natural, right? A natural segue into that, but I don't know.
I mean, at least he had the dance partner with Eder, so it wasn't completely awkward where he was dancing with himself. Yeah. I mean, it would have been funny to see him dance with like one of the enemies
with Leon.
Oh my god, with Leon? Are you kidding me? That would set the internet ablaze.
Yeah, I think I think that probably Resident Evil favorite moments.
That'd be number 1.
Yeah, for Leon and
right behind Ballistics.
That's true. The Ballistics too. The Ballistics. But I think for me, this is something that I thought if they were to remake Code Veronica, I think it would be cool to see him working in the Umbrella Paris facility. And this is something that I mentioned in that theory video, was that we do know that the remake changed the story so that Luis is now working for Umbrella before the events of him working, for Sadler and stuff in his lab. It would be cool if, how in Code Veronica we see Claire Redfield running in Paris, the narrator starts and the turret is shooting Claire. That was all set in the Umbrella facility, and I think it would be cool if they remade that section so that it was like a tutorial section where like you see Claire kind of going around, like inspecting stuff. Not stealth per se, but it's like there's nobody in the facility, and you see a hint of Luis. And then the alarms go off. You know what I mean? Like they're teaching you how to play, and then the alarms go off, and then it's like you're running down the hallways because the turret is shooting you, and then Rodrigo goes there and points his gun, and then it transitions to us going to the prison, Rockford Island. You know what I mean? So if they expanded that section a little more so we could see Luis, I think that would be amazing.
That would be cool. I would take that. Yeah.
Because we get to see Luis again. Maybe if Claire runs into him, but not even that. If we just saw his workstation or something, like we saw his lighter, I don't know, something to. But I think it would be cool if we saw like Claire bump into Luis, and he's like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah,
oh yeah, chica."
Yeah. I think that'd be cool. Yeah. Let's see. How are you, little? Oh no, they're just talking to each other. Yeah. Do you think Operation Javier will be a DLC for RE4 Remake? Kika, that's actually a good question. I actually answered this. I did a full video on this. And the answer is no. But if you want to know my full detail on that, I recommend watching the video. Yeah, if you look on my channel, you'll see it. It's there. But there's a lot of things that I mentioned as to why I don't think that would ever be the case, and why even if it was, it wouldn't work. There's a lot of issues there. And you know what? We're actually going to talk about Operation Javier a little later, because guess what? There's some new information about that we'll cover. So that'll be like, we'll fit that into a news video as well. But I guess moving on to, you mentioned Assignment Eder. What did you think of Assignment Eder?
I didn't play it.
You didn't? Okay.
I told you I'm a fraud, man.
No, you're not a fraud. You know what? To be honest, I've only played it like a handful of times. It's not a great
I didn't like original RE4. I didn't own.
Oh, I see.
For the longest time. I would have played at my at a late friend's house. That's the only way we'd play, and that was before we even thought about separate ways. We would just go through the main story. Yeah. So we never actually got through that. I heard it was good though, and I hear people would have been disappointed if they didn't include it.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have minded. You know, I would have. Well, I would have played it regardless.
One of the things that was weird. One of the things that was weird about Assignment Eder was that it was definitely non-canon. Like, it was not a story-based DLC. It was just a random minigame. Like, you'll see Krauser there, you'll fight, and then you could actually just skip him and just run to the past at the end. But it was just like, collect these vials, and it's like, it's supposed to be that Ada's there before the island happens. So it would have been cool if it was like an extra, like if she was there assessing the island, and then after she goes like really like to investigate and find the Las Plagas. But that mission was it was more like she was there to figure out if there was. But like I said, you would collect the vials of Las Plagas. So it was weird. Like, it didn't fit. So I understand why it wasn't added in Resident Evil 4 Remake. But it was not fun, honestly. Like, it was okay the first time, but after, it's like, I never played it again.
Yeah.
I played it like a handful of times, like, I don't know, 5 times.
Well,
maybe.
I heard that with a lot of the DLC, it was just, especially, well, you know, Mercenaries is just a shooter at that point.
Yeah.
High score. But like with Separate Ways back in the OG one, it was just rehashed sort of what it kind of was in the remake, except the remake just expanded upon everying and gave us the new areas.
Yeah, definitely.
Separate Ways was more or less the same as the campaign, just kind of backwards. Am I wrong?
Well, there was sections that they did cut out. Like, for example, the biggest section that they cut out from Separate Ways was Krauser. So it was what they did is that in the OG RE4, Leon fights Krauser and he leaves the building, and then the building explodes, and then Leon just assumes he's dead. But what they did is that in Separate Ways, when it was released with the PS2, because I think it was like a year after. This was like when I was like a kid, right? So
it wasn't on the GameCube, So
it came out for PS2. It was like the first DLC, honestly, DLC, but it was exclusive to PlayStation 2 disc, and then for later consoles. But that one was interesting because it was they added Krauser so that Krauser would fight Eder. But the funny thing is that he wouldn't have any voice lines. His voice lines were like just random stuff that he would say during Leon's fight. So you could see that they kind of went low budget on it. It wasn't like, Eder, I'm not dead yet, or whatever, you know, like, comrade tried to kill me, but not today, or whatever. But no, that didn't happen. He didn't talk. It was just like a random fight. But the cool thing is that if you knifed him, he would go down like a sack of potatoes, like instantly, which is something that I really liked. But so the new Separate Ways, they obviously made it so that Leon killed him. Right, he does that whole dramatic scene where he's like, "Kill me," or whatever, and then you just stab him and stuff. So even like when Resident Evil 4 Remake happened, and I was speculating on Separate Ways officially happening. I was like, I don't think they're gonna keep this, because that would just be weird. That would just be awkward, right? Like Krauser's just there, like, "Kill me, finish me," and then he dies. But then Eder, and then he's like, "No, just that was a joke. I'm back." Like that would have been weird, you know?
Dragon Ball Z ass arc.
Yeah, so that it's understandable why we didn't get Krauser's fight in that, and you know, at the end they replaced that with the U3 fight that they missed with Leon in the remake,
which was good. I think it fit better for that story there anyway.
Yeah, and it gave
felt out of place in the original.
They gave a new story, right? They called it Pesanta. They added so much lore to that, and we've covered that in the video, like on the channel and stuff, like what the origins of the name Pesanta. What does Pesanta mean? We've covered that, but yeah, it's at the end of the day, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad that we didn't get Krauser. But as you mentioned, Separate Ways just expanded everything that we got.
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah. But assignment Ada not being there, I don't think it's a bad. It's to finish the what we were talking about, right? I don't think it's an issue that we didn't get assignment Ada, because you know what? It wasn't a mini game that a lot of people went back to. It was like you just beat it once, so then you just never did again.
And then that was it. Yeah.
It was just a weird mini game. Honestly, it was just random.
Oh yeah, I'm not crying over it. For me,
Yeah.
it didn't make a difference in my life.
Yeah. So I have 3 more questions that I want to go over. Like what Silent Hill 2. I pissed off so many Silent Hill fans recently, and I want to see your take on the new combat trailer that occurred. What did you think of it, Virus? I want to know.
So I briefed on
back.
this shortly.
Don't hold back.
I won't. I'm not going to be overtly mean anyway.
Yeah.
I mentioned this short recently in the. I just posted a video about the short message. That's a whole nother
I haven't played.
by the way.
Never played that. I wanted to before this discussion, but I couldn't. I was too busy.
I just save yourself the trouble and don't. Honestly.
Oh, it's not good.
It's not good. No. It's that's a whole nother discussion. But the Combat 2 trailer, I have my issues with it, but I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
I have my issues. Maybe the combat, you have to modernize it. I'm not trying to sit in a corner and swing 20 to 30 times to kill one enemy with my metal, whatever. In the old Silent Hill games, I don't think you really ran out of ammo that fast anyways, unless you were doing it purposefully. And I
should preface to say that I am definitely one of the things that I pissed off a lot of Silent Hill fans with my trailer reaction, but a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually not the biggest Silent Hill fan. This channel's all Resident Evil, so I've played them. I've played a bunch of them, but I've never beaten any of them. So I played one as a kid when I was 5 years old. Too scary, and then Silent Hill 3, and then Silent Hill the PSP game, The Shattered Memories, and then I think Homecoming and something else I played just like at a friend's house. Yeah, but really quick. Like I don't even remember. So, but anyways, I just wanted to say I have my knowledge is limited to Silent Hill. Yeah. But anyways, continue.
And hey, for myself, I haven't fully played through all the games either. I've dipped my toe in here and there, but I've never completely finished it. Yeah. But I still have love for the franchise. I know the stories and the inner workings of basically all the games except really the first one and the crappy Western ones.
Yeah.
But the only issue I maybe have with it is the quick time event for getting attacked. Because in the old one, when you got attacked, that was it. You just had to wait it out, and then you lost your damage, which is fine. Because Harry is supposed to be a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to encounter this. He has no combat knowledge. So,
is that his name, Harry?
Yeah. Why? What did I say?
No, you said Harry. No, I'm asking. Is that his name? I didn't even.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're making me second guess now.
No, I don't. Like I said, I never played Silent Hill 2, so I don't know. I just thought it was something else. But yeah, was it Harry? I don't think it was Harry, but I don't know. I don't know.
Shit. Now you're making me question
James,
myself.
Jill, no, it's true. Cat answered. Cat said.
That's why, because I just downloaded that.
James is Silent Hill. That's his name. Yeah, James Sutherland, right? And then Cat answered. Harry is Silent Hill 1. Okay, yeah, okay. I was like, wait.
Okay, thank you, Cat.
Even I thought that was
wrong. The amount of time she's correcting me for that is absurd every single time, and I always mess it up.
Thank you, Cat.
But he's got no combat experience, right? Yeah. He's just experiencing this nightmare for the first time, basically like everyone else who's dipped into it. They're just ordinary people who are going through trauma.
That's an excellent point. I don't expect him to be like Leon and have martial art experience and stuff. Yeah. Doing Bruce Lee sidekicks and stuff.
So I don't have issues with it. The graphics to me, it maybe look like something someone would have released as an indie developer on Steam, but it was rumored that was footage from April 2023, and recently the head director I think just came out and said that Silent Hill 2's development is pretty close. I just saw that before we started this.
It's pretty close to finishing?
Pretty close to finishing. It's supposed to be releasing this year.
Oh my gosh, no.
I don't know.
No, even if because that leak that you were mentioning was from Dusk Gollum, which I've talked about. He's not always reliable. He's not reliable.
Yeah, right.
Some of his stuff is real. Sometimes his stuff is not. A lot of his stuff is educated guesses, and then other stuff he actually knows. But so that right there just it's to be reliable. It has to be all the time. It can't just be 50-50. You know what I mean? So, but so even if that was 2023, that's still scary. That really worries me, because what I saw with the thing, I had a lot of issues with it, and this is what I mean. I pissed a lot of Silent Hill fans, but a lot of Silent Hill fans agreed with me. One of the things that I didn't like was, first off, like you said, the graphics weren't they weren't spectacular, but that's fine. But one of the things that I didn't like was the walking animation. I thought it looked very, very weird. It's almost like he's walking like it didn't look like a mocap. It looked like really cheap mocap. So that's one thing.
Right, okay.
And a lot of my viewers, or the Silent Hill viewers, they were saying, "Oh, it's made by." There's a company that starts with a B, and that company isn't the best. It's like
Bloober Team. Yeah.
Bloober Team. Yeah.
Well, they made Layers of Fear, and Layers of Fear was kind of good.
Yeah, I never played that. But I'm just relying on their information, right? And they said, yeah, like it's kind of weird that they're giving all of this remake to that team when they're not really that well known. That was their argument, right? That was something that they said. And I could see it in the combat animation, even with the gun animation. So when he was pointing his gun, his head would kind of tilt back, and it kind of and the reason I said in my trailer, which you even said too, was that it looked like an indie game, was because I played that really bad indie game that released what was it called? Stray Souls. I don't know if you heard about that. A lot of people were making trash in that game because it wasn't great. But one of the things that I noticed with Stray Souls was that when the guy would aim, he would look that way and look this way, look like like
he didn't know where to focus.
He should be looking down the sight. So when he's pointing, it's like his head would move, almost like if you moved, it's like he would move to like the character, like the animation for walking and the animation for pointing were kind of combined. So it was weird. And that's what I noticed with Silent Hill too. I was like, this is bad. Like, why is he tilting his head? And I also saw the tilt head when he was hitting monsters, right? Like a normal hit would just be like that, right? Normal hit, even though he's holding a 2x4, whatever, you'd hit enemies and you would stop there. What he would do was it would almost look like he was rubber and kind of tilt his head to the left, almost like he's
it was a little it definitely was like, janky, I will say that.
Uncoordinated completely. And that's what I mean. Like the mocap looked like it was really bad in those instances. You know what I mean? Like it didn't look good. It just looked really bad. And so if what you're saying is true, that the game is going to be releasing that's
well, it was mentioned that it was supposed to be releasing this year. I honestly, I'm okay if stuff gets pushed back. That kind of stuff.
I hope it does, because it doesn't look good. Yeah, it doesn't look good. That's my only like gripes that I had with the trailer. There wasn't much else. Those were just my biggest. Like I was like, that's what made it look like an indie game, was because it reminded me of Stray Souls.
Yeah, Stray Souls was
which I actually did buy.
I haven't played it myself, but I've definitely seen stuff on it, and it didn't. The company
sent me a key request, and I was like, yeah, it's not the best, but it's okay. There were some things that were interesting, but a lot of the stuff was very it's definitely an indie game, and I think the company shut down, right? They got so much hate.
Did they really? That I don't know.
They shut down. Junkai.
I know that the reviews on it. When I went to go look, they were absurd. Sorry, I spilled something.
Oh, no worries. I'll just read chat while you clean up. James, Kenneth Wolf says, "Hey Kenneth, what's up, man? I played Code Veronica until Bandersnatches show up and got super disinterested because of the respawning enemies, an incredible amount of backtracking. Wait. The Bandersnatches, they don't respawn, Kenneth. Yeah, the Bandersnatches, when you kill them, they don't respawn. No, there's like another area where they show up again, like when you're going back to the castle. But if you kill them, that's good. Like they don't respawn, I'm pretty sure. And also you could just dodge that area. You don't have to fight them. But Kat says, I'm unfortunately one of those insane Silent Hill fans, except I'm more chill than an average Silent Hill fan. LOL. You know what, Kat? That's a good point. A lot of the Silent Hill fans that didn't like what I just said, right? And a lot of the stuff that I said was fair, right? Like I said, the animation does not look good, because it doesn't. But the graphics were fine, whatever. I don't like the only gripes I had were just the combat animations with the gun, the hitting, and the walking. But one of the things that that I thought was a little weird was that some Silent Hill fans were arguing really bad. They were really bad, and they were like, "No, like you're what you're saying is unfair." Silent Hill. The argument that they would bring was that Silent Hill 2 was that came out in 2001. That game, the combat animation looked janky. So that means that the new games are going to be janky too. And I'm like, okay, first off, Silent Hill So the second Silent Hill game came out in 2001. And you know what? I looked at footage when James hits, he kind of hits like this. He hits like that. It didn't look as bad as the rubber freaking hitting that James was doing in the head tilt to the left as he was hitting. So it's like you can't really compare that because that was back in 2001. And hey, the combat animation in 2001 was fine. Like there was no issues there. Yeah, like they weren't using mocap. I'm pretty sure. But why is it that the mocap in the new one looks janky, with his head tilting and moving to the side? Like what is happening? Like this is a game that's going to be releasing post 2024. How Byrus just said, it was going to release. It's going to release later this year. I shouldn't be. That's not a good argument to compare that to the first game that came out almost 20 plus years ago, right? So, and then there was also other Silent Hill fans that were just like, they were ignoring what I was saying, or they were using straw man arguments. So straw man arguments is when you make up what the person is saying. So it's like if I'm arguing that apples are great, people a straw man argument would be like, no, but you said that apples were this and this and that, and they just make up an argument that you stated, but you didn't. So it's like it didn't work. And I just noticed a lot of them didn't know how to argue, and I was like, "Bro, what is happening here? what is this?" So, yeah, I noticed a lot of the Silent Hill fans that I pissed off were very unhinged, is what I will say. But a lot of the Silent Hill fans, though, they did agree with what I said. So there was a lot of other reasonable Silent Hill fans. But I was like, "Dang, all right, dang." Or some of them were like.
A lot of them are very relentless.
So some of them were trying to gatekeep too. They were like, "Well, you know what? I'm not going to listen to you because you just told me that you're not a Silent Hill fan. So go play Silent Hill games and then come back and then we'll talk. So none of what you're saying is valid." And I'm like, "Okay. First off, I've played Silent Hill games. Okay, I'm just not a fan." Okay. So that doesn't work. Okay. Second of all, I don't like how you're trying to gatekeep here, and you're trying to. He was also using an ad hominem, which is when you're attacking people, right there. You're attacking your character. You said something else that was mean, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm blocking you, but I just want you to know that I played Silent Hill games. I just don't like them. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
My knowledge is limited, but I have knowledge. You know what I mean? So, and I'm looking at this from a survival horror perspective, which I have a lot of knowledge in, and it's like, this isn't good. So you attacking me and then using that, I was like, this guy's like really unhinged. So I'm like, I'm gonna block you. But I told him like, you're wrong. I played the games. I'm just not a fan. But
yeah, I mean, and that's fair. You have the opinion, you're able to give it, right?
Yeah.
So
you always have to be respectful, right? I mean, even if like I've always been open. So if like you were just saying, like you love Resident Evil 7, I don't. But that's not the end of the world. We can still have a discussion and not be mean towards each other. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
As soon as people start bringing up those ad hominems or those attacks, that's like, yeah, the conversation's over, man. You there's nothing to say anymore. Yeah. Hello. Hey, Osmond Sadler. What's up? Hey, we were just talking about Osmond Sadler before. Leon, subscribe to you, Byrus. Yeah, as mentioned, go check out Byrus. Byrus is funny, man. He's like the funniest guy in the space. Okay, like you got to check him out. And I like how
gaslighting me.
No, I'm not gaslighting you. I'm just stating facts, man. Even on your Twitter and your Instagram profile, you said your profile description says certified funny guy. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's sarcasm.
Yeah, no, you're certified. You're 100% certified, man.
Thanks. My mom says I'm quite funny.
Kat says, "Yay, Leon, I love you for that." Virus viewer. Yeah, that's what Virus will say. So glad I found you, Project Wesker. By the way, I can't wait to watch your vids. Oh, thanks, Kat. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, dude. Sadler, no, but I agree with everything you're saying about as a Silent Hill fan. It's so funny how crazy these Silent Hill. Yeah, and I felt like the ones that I talked to were definitely unhinged. Like there was one other guy who was like, nobody's talking about like the issues that are happening that they're finding in the game. So unless somebody states what they're saying, then I'm not going to talk to them. Okay, then I'm not taking their argument seriously. And I'm like, dude, I literally said this in the video. I said the combat animations are bad and the walking animations are horrendous. And then he said, "No, I'm not going to talk to anybody unless they give me the exact timestamp and the exact specific spot that was bad." And I'm like, "What? I'm literally talking to you. Why are you ignoring me? Like what? What?" So like,
People
okay,
just don't. Again, I know I've told you this before. People don't want to be. They just want to be heard.
yeah. So I'm like,
Right?
I
They
told
don't
that
care.
guy, I'm like, I'm blocking you because I'm
Yeah.
obviously engaging with you, but you're not engaging with me. So this is not a conversation. This is just a statement, a wild statement. So we're just gonna
Hmm.
block you. Goodbye, man. So, but no, a lot of the Silent Hill fans that I did speak with, the reasonable fans, they were very reasonable and they agreed with what I said. Because what I'm saying is not crazy, right? I'm just was talking about the combat animation and that's fair. Like even you said, right, Virus, you said that you didn't find that many things wrong with it, but you did say it looked like an indie game. And I guess what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that the reason it looked like an indie game was because the walking animations were funny, and the combat was funny, the gun and the hitting. That's what I
Hmm.
think is the reason why it looks like an indie game. But
Yeah.
anyways,
That's valid.
yeah. By the way, I was going to ask you too, what horror games are you looking forward to this year? What games are you looking forward to playing, Byrus?
Uh, well, since you brought up that Alone in the Dark,
Yeah,
the remaster, or whatever, that
yeah,
actually looks really good. I'm looking forward to that now.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got. I know this just came out for console, but I have it on PC. Elisa
Yes,
or
yes,
Alyssa, however you say it. That game
yeah,
looks fun. Looks really good. I'm excited
yeah.
for that. There's also another one. I don't remember the name of it. I could be wrong, but Hollow Point. I
Yeah,
think it's
hollow
supposed
body,
to be
hollow body, I think.
Hollow
Or
Body. That's what it
I
is. Hollow
think.
Body.
Yeah, I think.
That
Yeah,
also looks good. I
yeah. They
know
came out
there's
with.
just a demo out right now,
Yeah, I want to
but
try it. I want to try it out.
same.
The
That
only
looks interesting.
the only thing I'll say is that it looks like the people look like they're frogs when they're walking. They look like they're making this like this stance, like they're just. I don't know. You can't see me. I don't.
It's
Never
funny that
mind.
you mentioned that because I also covered another game that was somewhat like that looked
Yeah.
similar. It was
Yeah.
called Them and
It's
Us,
like
and they
it's like
look
their
really
legs are
goofy
too
too.
far apart, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like they're walking like almost like they're all like on a saddle,
they're
but
goofy.
it looks good though. It's just everybody looks like a frog. I will say.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
yeah, no,
As
yeah.
long as the game's good, I can again look
It's just a
past that.
nitpick. It's just a nitpick, but
Yeah, whatever.
but I still want to play it. So I'm yeah. All the games you mentioned, I definitely want to try it as well. What else? What else? What else are you looking at? Oh, Silent Hill 2. Are you actually did the trailer bring you down on your hype, or did
No,
it just stay the same?
surprisingly, I was still. I mean, I was just like, but I'm like, I think I'm a little too optimistic for it, and I
I
don't know
see.
why. I think I'm just looking for. I think it's just gonna be better than the HD version that came out
Yeah,
anyway.
I
So
hope. I hope,
I
but
think anything will be better than the HD version by this point. To be honest with you,
I don't know.
so
I don't know, man. With what
I
we've
don't know.
seen, I don't know. If it's better than if they fix it, that's great. But if they
I don't know.
don't,
I'm still excited for it. I'm still gonna play it. I'll probably still buy it day one and make
yeah,
make some content on it. So I'm
yeah.
not gonna buy it.
That
Anyway.
that was a
It
lot
works
of
out for me.
arguments in my video too. That a lot of people were like, "You don't. Why are people complaining? You're still gonna buy it day one." I was like, "No, actually, I'm not a Silent Hill fan." Oh, wait a second, Alexa, stop. I'm not a Silent Hill fan, and I'm not. First off, I'm not a Silent Hill fan, and then second, this trailer actually made me not want to buy it day one. I don't want to play it
Okay.
day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't because if they do, like if they fix all the issues that I saw, like with the combat animations, walking animations, just the animations in general, then I'm fine. I'll play it day one. But if they don't and they just release this, and even like you said, if this is what that leaker said, Dusk Golem, which again is not reliable, but if he said it was from last year, that's still not enough time to
Yeah.
make a game look good. And my argument to that was that I also talked with people was that it kind of brings me Resident Evil 6 flashbacks. When Resident Evil 6 released, they had a demo out a couple of months prior, and the demo looked really janky. And then sure enough, when the game fully came out, it wasn't that great. Like it still had a lot of jank problems. It was just a little better, but obviously they needed a lot more time to cook for the for the game to be better. So that's my it's giving me flashbacks of Resident Evil 6. So I don't know, man. Like I said,
We'll see.
if they fix it, great. I'll buy it day one. If they don't, no, I'm not. I'm not playing it. So yeah.
I feel like it's going to be one of those releases where day one it's going to be a little jank. Then we'll always get the day one patch because that's a regular now.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then maybe a few months down the line, people who hated on it, or let's say, God forbid, it doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
Few months, they'll probably iron it out. Maybe let it play a little better.
Yeah.
And then people will be like, "Oh, this is actually not bad."
Yeah.
It'll probably get like that cyberpunk treatment. I don't know. I have that feeling if it doesn't come out good,
Yeah, that
it'll
is
get
that
that
is a
Cyberpunk
trend. That's a
treatment.
good point. That is the
Yeah.
trend. But if that is the case, I mean, Cyberpunk, it took a lot for them to come back, like with the anime that they released and stuff. So, but I mean, Silent Hill is also releasing other games, right? Like, isn't there like Silent Hill F? Which, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I heard that the same team that's working on Silent Hill F is the team that worked on Resident Evil Reverse, which kind of is kind of it kind of was it Silent Hill. What was the other one? Ascension that just came out. Maybe
Ascension,
it was Silent.
yeah, that was like the Until Dawn.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
what that genre of game is called, but it was like that
yeah.
movie type, but it was just all through voting.
Yeah, which was weird. I never checked that out actually.
The only good thing we got out of that was that It's Trauma sticker. That was it.
Oh, what's that? What's
You don't know? You know
Enlighten
about
me.
that?
I don't know about
So
that.
because the Ascension came out with the battle pass.
Yeah.
By the way, #1 red flag.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things you could unlock was for chat, and it was a sticker that said "It's Trauma," and it's like, yeah, well, like
this game is giving me trauma.
This whole game is the whole point of Silent Hill is people dealing with their trauma.
Yeah.
Let's glorify it and make it a silly little sticker you can use in chat. You know.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. It's just
wait. What was that? What did you just bring up? Was that the umbrella logo?
Oh yeah, it was a pillow for my back, but I'm holding it.
Oh okay, I was like, wait, what was that? Wait,
yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. I didn't know you had that. It was like,
yeah, it's just to support my back, but
oh, I see. Yeah,
it started. I just got rid of it.
Yeah,
it's in my lap.
You said sticker and you pulled that. I was like, whoa, what?
Oh no, that's
cool
just
merch,
I was holding my hand.
That's cool though. It's cool. It's cool pillow.
Thank you.
But yeah. Kat says, she's cautiously optimistic. I feel the same.
Yes, cautiously optimistic, 100%.
Yeah, and for me, since I have no stakes in this, because I'm a Resident Evil fan, you know what I mean? Like, I'll play Silent Hill, I'll play it, I'll get to it. We'll probably play it on the channel maybe one day, but I do want to play the OG for sure. I never played the OG Silent Hill 2. I never even tried. I did try it just roughly just to see how the HD looked, but it was just to see that. Like, I didn't actually play it. But I have it. I have it on my PC, and that's something I definitely want to do. If the game releases, Silent Hill Remake, I'll play that. You know what I mean? Before it releases. And if it's good, if Silent Hill 2 Remake is great, I'll buy that.
There you go.
I'll buy that. Yeah. Marcus Gavin says, Byrus is my favorite YouTuber ever. Not going to lie. True. I mean, he's the funniest, I will say. Byrus.
I'm a little goofy guy.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah. Yeah, no, right? Because James is just some guy. He's not rookie Leon with police training, not Jill. Chris in the beginning. OG animation was better. I agree. Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm not expecting James to be like a martial artist at all.
Yeah,
but,
literally.
But there's still issues with the animation. Yeah. Leon, how should I return my appreciation of getting rid of Krauser? Apparently you didn't answer since 2004. Wait, what? Oh, I don't know. I don't get it. Osman. I just want to say I'm happy to see you again, Lord Sadler. I don't. What do you? What? I don't understand. Happy to see you too. No, don't mention cyberpunk around me. Kat says. Is it just me or Byrus look like Robert Pattinson? Sheesh, you're Batman. Something's that.
Dude, that is the best compliment. What the hell?
Yeah.
I'll take Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
That man is gorgeous.
Byrus, do we have the same umbrella pillow? LOL. Kat says. Yeah.
Probably.
Silent Hill 2 remake is big shoes to fill. Blooper look like they done well with the atmosphere and graphically looks exactly. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. But they need help from another studio with the combat needs to be delayed. Exactly, yes. Steven. You just summarized everything we just said incredibly well, and I 100% agree. I think that I didn't have an issue with the graphics. I think they look fine. They weren't like amazing. Like I don't know. Like what's the game that came out that looks like amazing graphics? Like, I don't know, like it's not like, anyways, you know what I mean? Like it's not like that, like pushing the limits of graphical design or anything, but I think it's good for now.
It doesn't need to though.
Yeah, exactly.
It just has to, as long as it looks dirty, grimy,
Yeah.
and then just empty. That's all it needs to be.
Exactly.
And I'm glad they're keeping the fog in there because obviously that was there for the limitations on the console at the time.
Yeah,
but
the fog
obviously become a staple.
It looked really
right?
nice. Yeah,
it looks good. Like it looks like great.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think maybe that's what's making me optimistic is that it looks good. So like it's got to play good, and then it doesn't play good. Well, it looks good.
Yeah.
And then whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so now we got one more thing to do. We have one more thing. We got to look at the new Resident Evil news. So I'm going to read that out to you guys. Byrus as well. I wanted to see your take on this, what you think about this. Wait a second. Why isn't it? It stopped loading. Wait a second. Didn't refresh. That was weird. Hold up. This website's okay. There we go. Oh, that's weird. It's like the whole thing got pushed down. Oh, there we go. There we go. That was really weird. I had to just refresh it. Okay. So IGN India just posted a new article. Apparently, they had a discussion with Hiroyuki. No, sorry, no. It's Yoshiaki Kobayashi. I'm pretty sure. No, Yoshiaki Hirabayashi. Sorry. There's a lot of Hirabayashis and Kobayashis. Anyways, yeah, Yoshiaki Hirabayashi, who is Resident Evil 4 Remake's producer. And they basically asked him a question regarding Darkside Chronicles, specifically Operation Javier. So I'm going to read this out to you guys, and we'll get to that. So in an email interview, IGN Resident Evil 4 Remake producer Yoshiaki Hirabayashi clarified whether or not Resident Evil The Darkside Chronicles is considered canon to the Resident Evil universe. Specifically, the in-game scenario titled Operation Javier focuses on Leon Kennedy and his first mission as an agent for the United States government with his partner Jack Krauser. So yeah, I guess since you haven't played this, Byrus, I'll just explain really quick what Operation Javier is about. As mentioned, it is basically like a prequel to Resident Evil 4 Remake. I think it takes place in 2003. I think it's 2003.
Oh, this is the
jungle,
the on-rail shooter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But it was like a DLC. It felt like a DLC, but it was honestly like a prequel to RE4. So this is when Jack Krauser and Leon meet up, and they basically go and to South America. And there's something going on with like a guy named Javier, and he's like he's doing something with viruses. So that's why they're sent in. Leon is sent in with the U.S. government, and Krauser sent in as a soldier. But of course, I guess the question here, like even before reading the article, which I haven't, but the question here is that the Resident Evil 4 Remake did a lot of changes. So in Resident Evil Operation Javier, Leon and Krauser were just comrades, essentially. But and with the OG RE4, right, the same thing happened there. But what happened with the remake is that they made it so that Krauser was a major to Leon, and he actually is the one that taught him how to fight, how to do everything, right? So that was the training that he did for the government. So that right there was a change. Another thing that remake changed was that in Operation Javier, it was just Leon and Krauser that went into South American jungle, and they went to the village and then, did the whole story. But in the remake, they made it so that, and this is specifically found when you're going by the camp, when in RE4 Remake, when you're going in the camp, Krauser, and you see like the recordings and stuff, you see a bunch of dog tags. And it's alluding to the fact that it wasn't just Leon and Krauser going to Operation Javier. It was a group of like other soldiers, and they all died. And then it was just Krauser and Leon that survived that whole incident. And just for those of you that don't know, the infection for Operation Javier is more closely related to Code Veronica. So it has the T Veronica virus as well as like the T virus. So you had zombies and also, the same kind of thing that happened with Code Veronica, with Alexia.
More reason to remake that first.
Yeah. Or if they remake, Code Veronica, I suggested that it should be a DLC for that. So somebody mentioned before that it's that Resident Evil 4 remake. There was a theory that Operation Javier should be a DLC for that. I'm like, no, it makes more sense if it was Code Veronica DLC. Because I think that would fit nicely. Yeah. But anyways, we'll continue. So that's what I mean. The remake obviously changed a couple of things. So we'll continue on reading. It says, Resident Evil fans are likely familiar with Operation as the events of that mission played a key role in Jack Krauser and his disdain for both Leon and the U.S. government. So that was obviously kept in the remake, right? We saw Krauser kind of talk about how he didn't like how it was just kept shut, right? While the mission was not directly mentioned in the original Resident Evil 4, the 2023 remake references Operation Javier towards the end. When asked about Darkside Chronicles' status as a canonical entry in Resident Evil lore, Hirabayashi clarified that while Operation Javier itself is canon to the Resident Evil universe, the events depicted in Darkside Chronicles... Whoa. Sorry, my whole thing just shifted. depicted in Darkside Chronicles are not exactly the same as those depicted in the remake. So yeah, that's an obvious thing as described, right? There's changes that they made. So there's a quote here. He says, "The fact that Operation Javier occurred is in fact part of the current Resident Evil main story. However, as to what that mission was, it's not exactly the same as the events portrayed in Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles." So I guess he just clarified that there is a story of Operation Javier, but it's not the same.
Okay, gotcha.
He says, "I can't share the details, but you will find that the relationship between Leon and Krauser, as well as their conversations, give you some idea." Okay. So right there, Hirabayashi, I don't know what you just told us. A little
bit of a tease.
Yeah,
right
that's a tease, bro. That's such a tease. Like I said, I never read this. I wanted to read this on stream with Virus and stuff. But dude, so that means that if they do, it would make more sense. As mentioned with my theory, that it would make more sense if they were to make Code Veronica remake, because the Operation Javier has the same enemies. So that would be an amazing DLC. Like, to be able to play as Leon and Krauser going into the jungle.
That would be cool.
Or
I
even
would be really down for that.
Even if it was like a standalone game, because again, the locations are pretty specific. So even if it was Code Veronica, it would have to be made from the ground up, because this is something I've stated in the video, is that you have jungle fauna, you have specific residents that are living in that South America. But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, Rockford Island in Code Veronica was also set in South America, wasn't it? It was set in the Pacific South. Yeah. It was set. So I'm assuming they don't give details, right? But I'm assuming it could be off the coast of Peru or maybe Chile, because obviously, going to Antarctica wasn't that long of a flight. So it could be off of Chile. I would say maybe Peru and Chile, maybe the border. That would be probably the best location for Rockford. And since Rockford is in South America, if they were to remake Code Veronica, you could have a lot of jungle fauna or different fauna, right, from that location that could be reused for an Operation Javier. I think that's the best. What do you think, Virus? What do you think?
Yeah, I actually like the sound of that. I wouldn't mind. Yeah. Again, like I was gonna say, I wouldn't mind playing either of them. And if they somehow have them directly correlated within the same game, or even if they do like a separate, like if they make one shorter than the other, just to get that experience and that extra story out the way, I'm all for it, man. I'll take it. And you can't end off that by teasing it like that. It sounds like you're almost confirming it, is what it sounds like.
He definitely
so now
is.
Now I'm just like waiting for it, no matter how it comes out, either as a DLC, small standalone game. Hell, man, now you got me excited.
It's definitely confirmed, and you know what? That's something that I stated in my previous video. Capcom never announces stuff. They're not the ones that hype them. They never hype themselves up. They never hype the community. But this, I think, is pretty hype. Like, it is, yeah. like the guy's like, I can't say anything. Why can't you say anything? Like, that that obviously means that you're working on it. You're working on it at this moment in time, or something along those lines, right? It's in the discussion phase, so it could be, right? So, that's crazy. Let's finish up this article, because let's see what else he says. Later on, he says, for years, Resident Evil fans often discuss whether or not the on-rail spin-off games, The Umbrella and Darkside Chronicles, are considered canon to Resident Evil lore. Both games released. So to that, I would actually say that Umbrella and Darkside, they kind of, it's funny. Umbrella Chronicles added canon because one of their, bonus modes, if you beat the game, you get Project Talos. So it's basically the story of when Chris and Jill go off to Russia and stop this Russian scientist from Umbrella from releasing this super tyrant, essentially. And then another bonus mode that they had was, how Albert Wesker in the original, he kind of just disappears if you play as Jill scenario.
Yeah.
In the remake, Resident Evil 1. So Jill will fight, the tyrant, right? And if you look back, Albert's just gone. He just disappears. So Umbrella Chronicles did something very interesting, where they basically made it so that if Chris's scenario, if you're playing as that, Albert's just dead. He's literally just, after he gets impaled by tyrant, he just throws him on the ground. But what's interesting here is that Umbrella Chronicles made it so that you played as Wesker. He basically just gets up and he's already infected, right? he got infected with, I think he infects himself before, or he gets infected by getting impaled. I don't remember the specifics. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, or but it's one or the other. And he basically wakes up, activates the self-destruction, and you have to get out of there. So the whole mode is just Wesker escaping the mansion, and he actually fights Lisa before leaving. There's like a cool boss fight that he does where he's just, fighting Lisa, and then he just runs. And then that's when the countdown happens, when Chris, Jill, Barry, and I guess Rebecca are all fighting the super tyrant, where Brad drops the rocket launcher and all that. Meanwhile, we're seeing the behind the scenes of Wesker escaping the mansion. So that's definitely canon, right? Because without that, Wesker, it doesn't make sense. But what's interesting is that Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 3 were kind of shortened and changed up a bit. They were changed up heavily, actually, because I mentioned that before, right? That the on-rail shooter games, they kind of made everything really, it's like almost like you're playing like a rush version of, the first one is Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 0, and obviously the Talos is a new thing. And then Dark Side Chronicles, you're playing as Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil Code Veronica, and Operation Javier. And those are all very rushed. So the games for Resident Evil 2, it's like super rushed. And it's just Leon and Claire going together through the whole city. So some stuff is omitted, is what I'm getting at. So that's why it's always been kind of random when it comes to canon and not canon in the Resident Evil fandom, because it's just messy, as what I'll say. There's no real like, oh, this is canon and that's not canon. It's only certain things that you can obviously say, but in reality, it seems like there's like the OG timeline and then the new timeline.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have a bunch of different developers and spin-offs, and the franchise has been going for as long as it has. You're gonna have some gaps in it, right?
Yeah. So it's not like Star Wars where there's like before this year, like everything before is like non-canon. You know what I mean? It's only for certain aspects. So certain things in the thing, but not everything. It's not as clear cut as like Star Wars. You know how Star Wars has like Legends, and then they have like the new whatever, Disney stuff, and that's canon now, and everything else before it was not. It's not clear cut. It's very kind of mixed, or like they both exist in the same world essentially, in the same universe. I don't know. But yeah, so I guess that's what the guy in the article is talking about. But anyways, we'll continue on. It says, Resident Evil lore. Both games released in 2007 and 2009 as exclusive on the Wii before getting ported onto PS3. Provide retellings of the same mainline Resident Evil games, such as Resident Evil 0, Code Veronica. Both games had original scenarios not found in other Resident Evil games, such as Operation Javier. And so that's what I was just saying, right? Like the DLCs are definitely something that's important to the story. In our review, Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles, we said the rail shooter genre will never be the true Resident Evil experience, but Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles shows that the franchise can be spun into different successful styles of gameplay. Even with my complaints about the bouncy camera, I believe this follow-up is significantly better experience than the original Umbrella Chronicles. Yeah, that's just a review. Okay, so Taylor's a reporter at IGN. Yeah, Taylor Nixter, that's the one who wrote this article. Props to Taylor for asking good questions to Yoshiaki Hirabayashi, man. What the?
Got pretty good responses from him too.
Yeah, we got confirmation, bro. This is awesome. But yeah, that's the end of the article. So it was just that interview, I guess. But yeah, guys, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. That means Operation Javier is definitely happening. Yeah, it's definitely in talks. And it's such a cool game as well. And you never played it, but it's cool because there's part of it where you're in the jungle and you're going into like the village, and it's like a South American village. You're seeing different South American, zombies or people that are zombies, and then you kind of go through like the river section where there's like an Amazon river, and you go into like this dam. You fight through this dam, and then after it ends, where you fight in the guy's mansion. So his mansion complex, because I think he's like a cartel. I don't know what he is, but yeah. Javier, he's like a multimillionaire, so he's got like a mansion in the in the jungle.
I wish that were me.
Yeah. So so that's rare IGNW.
That's cool. That sounds exciting. Yeah, rare IGNW. No kidding.
That's the cat set. 100% agree. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Leon S. Kennedy confirmed. He said Wesker injected himself before he got impaled. Thank you, Leon, for confirming that, because I wasn't sure if it was the other way, because I got confused. But thank you. Alisman says, does anyone want an Assassin's Creed horror game? I think it would be interesting. I didn't hear anything regarding that. It just popped in my head. No, I don't know. That'd be kind of weird.
We kind of got that with Dying Light.
Yeah,
right?
The parkour. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Well, it's the same. It's just first person instead of third, and you're not a Just not an
Lady
assassin
Huga
who
said
used to get-
2002, I believe. Thank you for correcting, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah. 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 If there's one RA game you could play again for the first time, what would you choose?
4.
For the first time. I see. That's a good question, actually, Kat. What do you think? Byrus? I'll let you take it.
I would honestly say 4. Just the first time I ever played that, just getting to experience just the village alone.
Yeah.
Altered my brain chemistry.
What was your first experience going into the village, and did you go in the house and fight the Dr. Salor?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the first. I remember because we used to take turns until we could beat it because we were like we were kids. Me and my friend, we would just keep running back and forth, absolutely scared, and it was simultaneously the worst and best thing I think we ever did because it was just fun getting to shoot hordes of enemies, but then also scared, being like, oh my god, there's too many of them, and that's where you get the horror aspect of Resident Evil, and that's why I think it, RE4 works so well even nowadays. It's superior.
It's a tense moment, and especially when all of the ganados are talking to each other. Like, vayan por detrás.
You feel left out because you don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, but I did
against you. Yeah.
I did because I spoke Spanish, and that was still freaky because they're saying like, go from the back, bring a ladder, get over here, let's go over to the other side, and it's like, bro, what these guys? And the first time I experienced that scene was actually my second playthrough. Funny enough, I never experienced that cutscene with Dr. Salor because I just stayed around the village. I never went inside the house where the cutscene triggers. Right. So it wasn't until I played professional where I was like, what's happening? Is this a new scene? And then I heard them all talking. I was like, bro. But the first time I heard them like remotely talking, I was so confused. Because I'm like, why are these zombies? It's like they're zombies, but they're not. And even like in the first time that you hit the ganado, Leon actually says he almost acted like a zombie, but he's not, or something along those lines, right? And it's like, what's happening here? Why are these guys acting weird? But they're like, what's happening? Like, what is this? What is this new virus? But at the end, it was a plaga, right? But I definitely agree. That's a game that would be amazing to be able to be like memory erased and then just play it again.
Get experience it all again. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think that's always going to be the safe answer, but it's the best answer.
Yeah, there's so many good moments.
Only one.
Yeah.
That or for me, again, I would probably indulge in RE7 because. Mind you, I was also a teenager, but I love anything that scares me.
I passed.
I know you're good, but I'd take experiencing that the staircase going down to the basement.
Oh yeah.
See, the Margaret thing, everyone got scared. I thought it was like, ew, I don't want to see bug crotch. What is this?
Yeah, I was like, I thought that was just more gross than anything.
I thought it was gross than scary. The house itself is kind of terrifying because it's so close quarters.
But you said that too in off stream, that you said that the basement going underneath. That
doorway. Right? That's I was like, ooh, this does not look like a doorway I want to go in. Yeah. That and also all the Evil Dead references are awesome.
You know what? I would like to experience the cop getting like a shovel through his head
in real life, or in the game.
In the game, like revisit that.
I know.
That'd be cool.
That would be just seeing it all again.
I remember like calling that out. Like, he's gonna die. Like, this is so stupid. This cop is retarded. Like, I don't know what's happening with this cop. Like, it played like a typical horror movie. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like give me your gun. Well, give me something.
It was
like, here's a knife.
I mean, I think that's what they were going for, and I think it worked in that terms because I'm like, there's no way it does.
You know what I will say about Resident Evil 7 is that I think I would have liked it more if it was a spin-off. Because it kind of feels like a spin-off. We kind of discussed how there's a lot of things where it was just like its own thing. Like, you're not going to, whatever Resident Evil game you play, it's never going to be like Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 is completely different from any other Resident Evil game, right? Mm-hmm. Like, even Resident Evil 8, as we discussed, it's more Resident Evil 4 components. It was very like its own thing. And even like some of the things that they wanted to bring, like, obviously it was a reboot to the series. And that's great that they did that so that there's new fans to the series. You can't say like, oh yeah, if you played Resident Evil 7, you have to play Resident Evil 2 or like it doesn't work.
It doesn't matter.
It's so different from everything else. So I think I would have liked it if it was like Resident Evil, like the Winter Saga or something like that. You know what I mean? Something different so that it's not a numbered series. I think I would have enjoyed a lot better. I think. Yeah.
To be fair though, well, in hindsight, when 8 gets released and then they tie everything back together to Umbrella and Spencer
Yeah.
with everything, that kind of justifies 7 having a place in this series, so that I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
understand. But
yeah,
if you're just playing that alone,
yeah.
I agree. It could have been a spin-off, and I don't think anyone would have complained.
Well,
But
just like if there was somebody, like if your friend was just getting into the Resident Evil and he played Resident Evil 7, you can't tell him to be like, oh, if you really like Resident Evil 7, you got to play this one. You
these
can't
other
really,
ones, yeah, because it won't work that way. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
you can't recommend Resident Evil 8. Like it's the closest, but it's completely different. You know what I mean?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, like even the elements that they tried to bring back was like it was like the cassette recorder. That's to save. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but it's always been typewriters in Resident Evil, and even in Resident Evil 8, they went back to typewriters. Like, they just gave up on that idea.
Yeah.
So many of the things that made Resident Evil 7 different, it was just like an experiment for them. So that's what I mean. I think it would have fitted better for as a Resident Evil fan if it was a spin-off. If it was like, okay, that's great. Like if a Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil 7 was its own thing, separate from a number title, I think that would have been great. And you know what? Likewise with Resident Evil 6, I think Resident Evil 6, I think the reason it gets a lot of flack is because there was so much content and it just felt like a rushed mess of a game. Honestly, if they had taken their time, and that's why if they ever remake 6, I'm down, man. Like I'm there, because there were so many problems with the story and mess. But like I said, I prefer it more than Resident Evil 7. I know that's a hot take, but yeah.
That's a very hot take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, let's see. We got a couple more chats. What would you guys think of Western horror game like Bond Tomahawk? Oh, what is that? I've never heard of that.
I'm not familiar with Bond Tomahawk.
Well, a Western horror game. I'm pretty sure I was gonna watch a video for yours, but I didn't have time this week. But it was you did a video on Undead Nightmares, which I want to play on the channel as well. What did you think of Undead Nightmares?
It's good. If you like Red Dead Redemption, it's just that but zombies. And it works. That it was in the era where everything had to be zombies.
Yeah, 2010. Right? What was it? Like around the early 2000s. Yeah, like Call of Duty had zombies, right? Well, they had
I wasn't complaining. Listen, I love my zombies. That didn't bother me, and I played the hell out of it. Yeah, it's a good game. It's fun. It's short, but it's good. If you like Red Dead, you'll just enjoy this. It's just that.
Yeah, So I would like a Western horror game, Kenneth. Lady Huga says RE7 could have been Gun Survivor 3, perhaps. You know what? That's a really good idea. Yeah, if they continue the Gun Survivor franchise, because Gun Survivor was first person. Well, the second one was. The first one wasn't, but the second one definitely was. You know what? That's not a bad idea, Lady Huga. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, I actually kind of like that idea. If it was Gun Survivor 3 and then 4 for Resident Evil 8. Yeah. Another face in the crowd. Hey, Edward, what's up, man? It says Ethan just came out of nowhere, so I can understand that you thought RE7 was more of a spinoff. Yeah. At first, I'm gonna be honest. When I first heard that it was first person, it kind of disgusted me. It kind of disgusted me, and then I was like, you play as a guy that you can't see his face. What? And so it actually, I'll be honest. It took me until 2021 to actually play it. I played it for 1 month straight. I got the platinum in 3 weeks, and then I just played it again because I was just like, I might as well, get it. But I haven't touched it since. So I got the platinum, got rid of it, and I was like, I'm not going to touch this again. No, I did play the DLC. What am I saying? I played it like a couple months ago.
I will say the DLC was good.
Yeah, I played the DLC.
Chris's was a little weird, but End of Zoe was pretty decent.
Chris being like Chris's face. What happened with?
Yeah,
Chris?
I don't know why they made him look like that. He looked like he got stepped on.
And there was a theory that it wasn't Chris and that it was actually Hunk. And I was like, that's actually a good theory, but no, that was actually supposed to be Chris.
And then they made him Beefcake Chris again, and so all was forgiven.
Yeah. I'm there too. RE6 had so much to it. If it was carefully crafted, it would have been so much better. I saw RE6 Vision. Shame it didn't get realized. Yeah, but you know what? There's always a remake. We can always get that with a remake. So I'm hyped. What bugs me is that RE6 implied that Carla is still alive, but then RE7 happened and it has nothing to do with RE6. Did it imply that Carla is still alive? Man, okay, I gotta play RE6 again. Wait, what was the specific thing? Actually, I'm curious. Kika says, I think it would be cool if Operation Javier was in Krauser's perspective. Well, you know what? It kind of did that already. If you played the secret chapter, which was like, I think Operation Javier was actually one of the shorter campaigns. Like the other ones had like 13 or 12 chapters to them. But Operation Javier had like 7, I think. And 7 was the secret mission where you would play and you would hear Krauser's thoughts over to the whole thing, and you could kind of hear him kind of descending into evil. So if they brought that back, they would just have to bring that. And if you played as his character, that would be cool if the whole game was like that. But they already kind of did that. Yeah. Edward says, or another face in the crowd says, because all you saw in RE7 were Ethan's forearms. yeah. But anyways, yeah. That's kind of everything I wanted to ask. Byrus, do you have anything else to add, or do you have anything you wanted to bring to this discussion?
Not really. I'm just looking forward to the future Resident Evil. Those 5 games that are apparently in development. Yeah, educated guess. Yeah, we talked about that on our own.
The remake. I don't think we finished talking about that. Which remake do you want to see?
Out of all of them?
Yeah, we were talking about Code Veronica, and we kind of got sidetracked. Which one would you want to see? Resident Evil 5?
Yeah, definitely CV.
Or CV, okay, yeah.
I feel like it's integral to the story. If you're going to tell the story of 5, you need to tell CV to show how the beef really starts. Because when I again, I haven't played 5, but I know the story of it, right?
Yeah.
And so when I went to go listen to it, I'm like, I don't understand why they're beefing. It's just because they have the correlation from RE1, and I couldn't piece it together from the other games.
Yes.
And you play Code Veronica, and I'm like, oh my god,
you're referring to Wesker,
actually makes sense now. Wesker, yes. Yeah, sorry, I should have.
No, and that's something that I've stated too, is that in several videos, I'm like, Wesker is so important in Code. Like, you need Code Veronica to know, and that's funny that you mentioned that, because Code Veronica was the first you played it just last year, so you were lost with like what happened with Resident Evil 5, and then with Resident Evil 1, right? You're like, why does Wesker hate why does Albert hate Chris? Like, what's going on here?
At least this way it shows, and it builds that that tension between the two, and then you get that in 5 where it fully fleshes it out.
And you know what? I think it would be cool is that if they remake Code Veronica, it would be cool if they expanded upon a little more as to why Albert has so much hatred towards Chris. Or if they remake 1, because Code Veronica, he was just like. He just was like, Chris. Yeah, he's like, I despise Chris or whatever, and he just slapped freaking Claire. But there wasn't much of an explanation either, right?
Yeah,
like it was just like, I hate him, and it's like, okay, all right then. So even that, I think, could be explored a lot more. Like, why does he hate him? Was he jealous of him and R.P.D. or what? Or was he jealous of his skill? Like, what's going on there? I would love to explore that a little more.
I think he just has a little crush on him, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. That's
Rebecca.
The vibes I'm getting.
Not a Rebecca, just Chris personally.
Yeah, he just likes Chris, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, Kat said that too. Actually, Kat, yeah, hot take. Wesker loves.
Yeah, look
Chris.
at that. I make that joke. Well, we make that joke quite often. So
I see.
There you go.
Yeah, Hugo said, Lady Hugo says, Carla talked to Chris / Piers in the underwater facility after Eda killed her, but I don't know why no one talks about it. Dude, that's something I completely missed. And you know what? I'm actually beating Chris's campaign, so I'll look out for that. Yeah. Kenneth says, I think it would be awesome if Capcom actually did come out with a totally new horror series. What they did with House Beneviento or RE7 was incredible, to be honest, if it was its own thing. Yes.
I agree.
I think that would honestly fix a lot of issues that I had with Resident Evil 8 and 7, is that it's not, as mentioned, it's not, Resident Evil has never been like super horror based, right? Every time that, and the issue with House Beneviento is that they took out all your weapons, and it's like, that's never been the case. You always had a knife. So yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, Kenneth. That's a great take. Yeah. Edward says, I want the Ashford's backstories expanded in the possible RACV. Yes. What do you think, Virus? Do you think that the love that the brother and sister, the ancestral relationship, should be explored more?
Yeah, of course. If you just give me more Alfred, that I could care less what you do. Just give me the silly, yeah. That's all I need.
I can't go that high.
Him. I just need more of him. Man.
Yeah,
that's all I need.
He's so annoying, man. His laugh, and he just runs away. He's such a little coward. He just runs away.
Is it bad that I like him more than Steve?
Actually, no, because you know what he is. Yeah, because he's not a doubter. He has a mission, and you know what? He's trying at least. He sucks at his job. Like that time he tried to snipe Claire, and he had the clear shot, but he just completely missed.
He just didn't take it, or hit the wall. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he choked. Yeah, but no, you know what would be interesting is that, kind of with what another face in the crowd said, is that it would be cool if they explored kind of like the trauma or like the craziness of having these two experiments of making these two kids, you know what I mean? And like, because they're kind of clones of their like great grandmother or whatever. But
Mhm.
so that was kind of weird, kind of exploring like the trauma that why are these kids like in here? What like because Resident Evil 1 remake kind of did that already with Lisa Trevor. And
Mhm.
when they added that character in, they added the trauma of all that. That would be cool to see that with the Ashford twins. You know what
And
I
I
mean?
think they could do a good job of it now, considering how well RE4 remake was received. I feel like if they were to make this, they would be able to make it touchy,
Yeah.
like actually make you feel bad
Yeah.
for them and show actual sympathy instead of laughing at them because they're two goofballs.
That's a good point,
Right.
especially with like the beginning of Resident Evil 4 where Leon's like narrating, like he's like, I can't, I like it has to be different. Like the scene that's playing actually right now in the back.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's playing right now. But that scene where he's talking in the car, he's like, it has to be different. I got to save Ashley. I can't let all those people that I missed in RE2 and in the city that needed help and I couldn't help them. So there was obviously a lot of trauma there that you could explore.
Yeah, and if they just strengthen their motive, it'd make it a lot better.
Yeah, and
right? And especially building up to having Alexia come back.
Maybe tone down the incest thing. Yeah,
that I agree. I don't think that was necessary. It was funny for what for the time, and I think they were just it's just.
But that side where they're
edge,
looking at each other like just like this close.
Yeah,
look like they're gonna make out.
I can definitely see them. I feel like they just didn't know really how to write them to be close together.
Yeah.
Mostly because he was.
Yeah.
He cross-dressed a lot to be like Alexia.
Yeah.
And then
and
I don't want to
trauma
spoil it for anyone, but
the trauma there could definitely be explored with him dressing up, and the clear reference to like Psycho, right? But let's see. Also, wait, I missed this. So true, Byrus. I see it very much. You could have been part of this towards Chris, like a love, then being angry about it. But that's just my take. Are we talking about Wesker? Wesker, yeah. I see some Wesker's like, you could have joined me, but you didn't. And I think it should be RE5 remake because you can look up why Wesker hates Chris so much. Yeah, they definitely need to explore that as well. But I think it would make more sense to explore that in Code Veronica because Code Veronica, he already hates him. So this is a different Wesker from Resident Evil 1 Wesker because he didn't have powers. And like Resident Evil 1, it was at the end when he escapes the mansion as we discussed. But Resident Evil Code Veronica, he really freaking hates Chris. And in Resident Evil...
I feel like... Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, continue.
I was going to say, I wouldn't mind the slow burn in that game to see the hatreds. Like, it's already there, but it's a slower burn.
Yeah.
And then for the 5 remake, it's just all-out hatred. And then it makes that final confrontation... even more impactful, right?
Yeah.
It's just not doing a volcano this time.
Yeah. So there's a slightly build to the relationship. So if they remake 1, we could see that being played there a little bit better. Code Veronica establish that really well, and then by Resident Evil 5, you don't need to explain. Then it's fine. With the remake,
exactly. You can just go off of it. I agree.
Yeah. So I think that's why it makes more sense for Code Veronica. But Kika says, but I wouldn't be mad if it's CVR. Yeah, exactly. Do you think one of the games in development is a classic collection with trophy support? Izuna, that's such a good
I hope so.
I hope
so. Game preservation is dying, and if we can somehow bring it back, I don't care if it looks exactly the same. I know people are hating on the Metal Gear Solid collection right now, and I don't get why, because that released 7-8 years ago on like the PlayStation Vita platforms, and no one complained, but now all of a sudden they are. It's like we're getting like a Metal Gear 3, or I guess they're calling it Delta now, remaster. But I don't know. I'm down to just I'm down for it as long as we keep that game preservation.
Thank you, thank you so much, Kat, for the super chat. Sorry, I don't have it. I didn't have it in the background, so it didn't pop up. It only popped up really little on the chat. But thank you so much for the $10 USD, man. Thank you guys. It's just such a great stream. Yeah, thank you for the great stream, guys. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it.
You, Kat.
Yeah, W's in the chat for Kat. But yeah, like as you were saying, it's like the Metal Gear Solid. I think the reason it got some hate was because it wasn't really like like they didn't really do anything. It was more like a port, but also for the Nintendo Switch side, they brought it down to 30 frames, which it's understandable because it's the Nintendo Switch, but I don't think it's the same for PlayStation 5 and Xbox S. I think those are still at 60. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I never bought it because I was like, I already own it and it's not really much of a difference. But as you mentioned, it doesn't really matter because people that want to play it on new consoles with new trophies can just get it again. You know what I mean? And that's easy money for Capcom. So if they did that with Resident Evil, it doesn't have to be an D-ified or whatever. You could just release it and people are still going to buy it. Like everybody
people have been asking for it for a long time.
Yeah, because we haven't had it since 2010 for PS3, right? Like that's the last time we got it, like officially. But of course, the
only way to really play it now is either you spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on the original games and consoles, or no, don't tell anybody I told you this. You emulate it, right? That's like the only other way.
And put the HD seamless HD project on there.
Yeah, exactly, right? People just want to be able to experience it from the actual producers of the games themselves. So it's like, just give it to the people. Again, the resources are there. It's easy cash for them. I don't know why they're so hesitant to do it.
Yeah, no,
it should have happened already a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know. The community's been asking for it, and it's like the trophy support would just be amazing. Like even like on PS5, I don't know if you know this, but you could get the first Resident Evil game, and it is HD to fly, just like with like normal graphics, like because you're on PS5. But you can't purchase it. You have to have PlayStation Premium, and there's no trophies. Yeah. And you know what? People were also saying that we're going to get Dino Crisis added to that because there was like a Play Asia had like a picture of Dino Crisis in their classics catalog for PlayStation Premium. That never happened. So it's like, like they need to release it. They need to release it for PlayStation Premium, but also have it so that you can purchase it, which I know they're doing
normally. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, you get it for free, but like everybody else can play it. But also, let's add some trophies, guys. Let's be real about this. Yeah.
People like their trophies, man. People like trophy hunting. I like trophy hunting occasionally. If the game's good enough to hold me, yeah.
The only one I don't have is Resident Evil 0 and the spin-off games, but everything else
That's
have.
Fair.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at you.
Yeah. I have to. For Resident Evil 0, I have to. I have to go back. But it's not my favorite. So, yeah. Anyways, yes, it will be interesting if we get to see more depictions of Alfred's descent into madness. Yes. Lady Huga says, you need to also watch out when you play Ada's campaign, because right after Ada killed Carla, she'll see Chris and Pierce fly to the carrier, which confirms they went to the facility after that.
Spoilers.
Yeah, she went to the oil rig, right? Oh, no, you're talking about Carla went to the facility. Oh, I see. Yeah, because I think there's a section where you see her looking at the computer, right? I think. Yeah, I think that was on the boat, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm kind of getting confused now. But yeah, I'm going to have to check it out. I'll check it out, lady. I'll do it. As mentioned, we're playing Resident Evil 6 at this moment, so yeah. Rocket Cat says hi. Oh, yeah, he keeps popping up back here. Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. I missed a bunch of chats. We'll just read that, and I guess, we'll wrap up. That's why I think Capcom nailed RE2. I think the strong horror elements of RE7 and the story of 2 fit together really well. But there's that combination, right? Resident Evil has always been like very horror, and then obviously with action later on with the other games, but it's had the survival horror aspect, right? And then later
that's when it's at its strongest.
Yeah, then it added the action, right? With Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Code Veronica, they added the action element there even more. So yeah. What's up, guy? SF Ken says, yeah, we're doing good. What are you guys talking about? We talked about a lot of stuff. You're gonna have to watch the VOD. Yeah. Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition. Shh, I didn't say that, Kat says. Yeah, that's true. They should. That's also a good idea. Can you please do an RE4 remake Berserker mod, please? Have you heard about this, Virus?
I have. Yeah, I heard it's like difficult.
Yeah, there's like a difficulty called like Leon Must Die. That seems interesting, but
that's a mod though, but I don't have it on PC. You have to get on PC, I guess, for that, right?
Yeah. I think I'll probably do that a little later because I haven't been doing mods, but I want to. But I have to get another PC for that. I think I might be getting that a little later, so we'll see. I'll see. I'll if I get it. There's so many mods that I have to play with Resident Evil. So many of the community.
Yeah, all of them are costume mods.
Yeah, no, but have you heard of like the game? Like somebody made you get to play as Kenneth from Outbreak before the outbreak of Raccoon City occurs. What was that one called? Like there was also one where you play as Wesker and you like the OG Wesker in Resident Evil 1, like with PS1, and you have to escape the same thing that happens in Umbrella Chronicles. Like there's been a lot of great mods that people have done like to fit the story in between, right?
This is for the OG or
the OG,
remake?
The OG trilogy.
Okay. Then I have these mods I have seen. I thought you meant for the remake. Like, oh my god, already? That's
no. Into the Storm, I think. I don't know. I don't remember the exact name, but that's what I mean. Like, there's so many story mods that fans have made. Yeah, with the OG game specifically, but yeah. S Ken says, hi Project Wesker. What's up, S Ken? Can you please do a stream? well, yeah, as mentioned, we'll definitely do that. I'm off topic, but I'm actually down to play that Alone in the Dark game. First game in the series that I'm down to play. I know, and I actually have the OGs. I was thinking of maybe playing that before the new one releases to get more of a, because I never played that. Yeah. Just give us the entire RE collection, canon games in the RE engine or the upcoming RX engine. Just need 0-1, one big game on 2 discs. Clean up the story a bit. Code Veronica 5 out. Definitely, man. And that seems to be the plan. We're just going to get everything, right? It's like
Eventually,
the OG RE4.
we'll
Look it up. It looks good. Yeah, as mentioned, we'll probably do that maybe later. But you know what, guys? I think that's everything. Thank you so much to Byrus for stopping by. It's awesome to do this collaboration, man. Thank you, man.
This was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by. We talked a lot, man. It's been 2 hours. It doesn't feel like 2 hours. Does it feel like 2 hours for you? It has?
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. 2.5 hours, man.
I know. That's
even
crazy.
before that, we were talking for another half hour. So
I know.
We've been here for almost like 3-something hours.
Yeah, I got to let you go, Byrus. We're talking too much. We got no, but
I know you're.
Yeah.
I'm sick. I'm so sick of you already. Oh my god, unbelievable.
But let's do this again, man. Let's
Yeah,
talk.
this was fun. I'm down.
Yeah, let's collab again and like I said, go check out Byrus if you haven't before. Go check him out. His content's hilarious. You're gonna have a good time over there. Yeah, definitely go subscribe to him. And yeah, let's do this again, Byrus. Let's do it again.
Yeah, we've been talking. This is literally the first time we've collaborated, and
yeah,
we've been getting along quite well.
Yeah,
just even off stream.
Yeah,
and we've already talked about some things in the future.
That's
you guys.
right. Yeah, you're teasing.
So
keep
an eye.
Yeah,
keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
Ooh, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, we got a lot of plans. So, but yeah, man, no, it's also my first time collabing with another Resident Evil creator, man. So
my first time collabing, period.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Yeah. Well, you know what? No, never mind. This is my second time or third collaboration, but second with a Resident Evil creator. I did collab with Andrew Salo.
I mean, I like that's pretty. That would be my number 1, 2.
Yeah,
I'll take number 3.
Yeah. But no. But like I said, this has been great, Byrus. You're hilarious, and let's do it again. All right, man.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody that showed up. See you guys. See you.